Clearly not, though.
And so another choice point.
It's again!
We're back from outer space.
I'm fine. Definitely didn't almost drop my phone.
Willow's dying and possibly murdering her phone is fine. That was a nice try.
Oh, your poor cat is trying so hard to flee your love.
No, she just wants to be part of stream, you see.
No, she's actively tried to run from you twice.
Yeah, but she hasn't tried a third time yet.
You know what word you just used? Alright, let's see what Bio sent this week. And maybe we'll be able to finally make some sense of Bio's pattern. Well, there's lots of cats. And then the description that he gave of the Artoria, Is that an Artoria? Artoria, but she's friends with the intergalactic bounty hunter Artoria, despite both being Artorias from the same alternate universe, and drinks too much Starbucks while also literally being an in-canon Sith Lord.
Ah, yes. MHXA. Mysterious Heroine X-Alter.
Okay, but why is she white-haired, though?
Oh, that's just a thing that happens with alters.
But last week's wasn't white-haired.
Last week's wasn't an alter. But last week's was just a different variant on Artoria. That is an alter of a different variant of Artoria. And, like, the alters are basically just different aspects of the same hero, usually, like, or some kind of wicked shit happened.
But I do love the also is literally a Sith Lord.
Yes, no, she's literally, you know how MHX just did, like, Starburst stream and summoned a second sword to do Starburst stream?
Yeah, she's just Palpatine.
No, she's Darth Maul. Because she has a double-bladed lightsaber as her weapon of choice.
Well, then how come I only see one blade there?
Because it only shows the one there and the other's kind of behind her head. Like, it's a double-bladed...
Boo, needs more lightsaber.
She's basically Bastila, but red. And, like, evil. Remember that time I gave Blaine a lightsaber? Yeah, that was her lightsaber.
Oh, that was the saddest little cry I've ever heard you make. She's so upset.
No, she's fine. She hasn't tried to leave. She could literally go whenever she wants, and she's not leaving. So, you know.
Her ability to have any say in this is debatable at best. Oh, you make such tiny little chirrups. Oh. How does that noise not break your heart?
Because she does it all the time.
But it's the saddest sound.
Yeah, but sometimes she just does it for literally no reason. Like, in the kitchen.
Yeah, but
For no reason.
But
So I'm desensitized to it.
But if Vivi made that sound, my heart would break. She'd get whatever she wanted in exchange for that noise. Because I just wouldn't want it to happen.
You thought about leaving for a second, and then you didn't.
Oh, you poor little thing. Okay, I should probably actually advance the game, huh?
The static electricity on this cat right now is kind of crazy.
The correct answer to this is don't fight, right?
Yes, no, we did the other. See how the other one is green? Yeah, we did that one already.
いや、俺も遠坂と同じだ。まだあそこには手を出さない方がいい。
あなたまで戦わないというのですか?
Bitch, why are you such a coward?
Well, didn't you say you didn't want us to fight, Saber? Yeah, he's saying he won't fight.
今まで体を休めていたのは何のためです？敵の所在が判明した以上、打って出るのが戦いというものでしょう。
Except that you don't know anything about who your enemy actually is.
それは分かってる。けど待つんだ、セイバー。竜道寺にいるマスターがそこまで用意周到なやつなら絶対に罠を張っている。そこに何の策もなしで飛び込むのは自殺行為だ。遠坂の言う通り、せめてアーチャーが回復するまで待つべきだと思う。
Yeah, we should at least go with 2 servants.
そのような危険は当然です。初めから無傷で勝利を得ようなどと思ってはいません。
You really just have a death wish, don't you, Artoria?
She
敵
just
の
likes
罠の
fighting.
体を貫こうと、この首を渡さなければ戦える。どのような深手を負おうと、
それは分かってる。けど待つんだ。
You
セイバー
pressed that button. That was your foot, not me. How do I back? This. No. This.
いや、
Okay,
俺も
there
遠
we
坂と
go.
同じだ。
バカな。今まで体を
So
休
the
めて
answer
い
is
たのは
going
何のためです？
even farther
敵の
back.
所
I
在が判明
didn't.
した以
I
上、
wasn't sure if
打っ
we'd
て
gone
出るのは
back or
戦いというもの
not.
で
Well, the text was green, so we'd gone
け
back.
ど待つんだ、セイバー。竜道寺にいるマスターがそこまで用意周到なやつなら遠坂の言う通り。
One of Shear's lines ended with quotes, but then his next verbal line didn't start with quotes, despite ending with quotes. Yeah, well, you know.
そのような危険は当然です。敵の罠が体をどのような深手を負おうと、
Well, that's
バカ言うな。
that's in white, so we hadn't read
そ
that
んな話
actually.
あるか。
That was new stuff.
No, we definitely had.
そのような危険は当然で
Because
す。
それは
she
分かってる。
the last thing I
せ
read
竜道
before
寺にい
we
るマ
went
スターがそこまで
backwards
用意遠坂の言う通り。
was
せめてアーチャーが回
her
復するまで
saying
待つべきだと思う。
そのような危険は当
that
然で
there are
す。
risks we always must
初め
face,
から無傷で勝利を得ようなどと思ってはいません。敵
and
の罠
then
が
being
体を貫こうと、
willing to keep fighting as
こ
long
の
as she
どの
still
よう
had
な
a
深手
head.
を負おうと、マスターさえ倒せればいいのではないのですか。
バカ言うな。怪我をしてもいいなんてそんな話あるか。
You would, but you have multiple times, mind you, mostly in your death sequences, but still.
危険を承知で行くのはいい。けどそんな特攻は馬鹿げてる。俺はマスタ
Again,
ーとして
please
セ
see
イバー
my
にそんな
prior
危険な
statement
真似をさせ
about
られ
you
ない。
constantly making suicidal choices, even in the routes where you live.
Well, technically, he lives every route. We haven't even gotten to his second route yet. This has all been one route. Going over to Ryudo Temple would be suicide, no question. The lone road leading up to the temple is sure to be packed with traps or obstacles, maybe trapsticles or obaps.
Trapsticles is more entertaining, but also more likely to, or is also a statement more likely to get a channel that were monetized demonetized.
It's one thing to go in expecting the dangers, but doing it without a plan to deal with them is suicidal. No matter how powerful Saber is, she's still held back by weakness.
His weakness.
Yes. I would hate for her to push herself to fight and end up that again. If it ends up like it did last time, I can't agree to just charge in blindly.
何を言うかと思えば、
In Artori's defense, if she had a master who wasn't shit to the point where he can't even give her energy to work with, she could literally demolish the place in a second with no effort. So her mindset isn't usually wrong, it's just that with the circumstances she has to deal with currently, she's being a fucking moron. Yeah, she's not used to being a weak sauce bitch.
サーバントは傷を負うものです。それを恐れて戦いを避けるなど、私のマスターには許しません。
ああ、許されなくて結構だ。セイバーが無茶をするんなら何度だって止めるからな。それが嫌ならさっさと体を治せって言うんだ。まだ傷が治りきってないんだろお前は。
戦闘に支障はありません。傷を理由に戦いを先延ばしにするなどと、そのような気遣いは不要です。
Saber just won't change her mind about fighting.
Well, yeah, her entire personality. Stop being such a bitch, Shiro.
And Shiro's whole personality at the moment is stay in the kitchen and make me a sandwich. Why doesn't she understand no matter what I say?
ああ、そうかよ。けどな、そう簡単にうなずけるか。以前だってそれでセイバーはバーサーカーにやられちまったんだろ。
Oh, yeah, reminder about losing. That's gonna go well
ま
for
た
you.
俺もお前も共倒れなんて真似を繰り返すつもりか。冗談じゃない。俺はあんな無残に殺されるなんて二度とごめんだ。
I don't want to get killed again. What do you mean again? I expect Saber to argue. Instead, she just draws in a breath and...
それを言うのは卑怯ではないですか、シロ。
way to kick a girl while she's down. Her tone is apologetic.
卑怯で悪かったな。とにかくこっちから仕掛けることはまだしないぞ。俺だって竜道寺にいるマスターは放っておけない。けど俺たちは戦える状態じゃない。こんなんで戦ってやられちまったら、それこそ誰が竜道寺のマスターを止めるんだ。
Current hypocrisy aside, Shiro is kind of just super right about going to the
Ika.
temple being just the
こ
worst
っちから打っ
idea.
て出るのは
Rain even
お前の
described
傷
it
が
in
治って
vivid detail
万全の状
why
態に
it's
な
the
ってから。
worst idea.
それに文句があるんならさっさと他のマスターを見つけてくれ。
わかりました。マスターがそういうのでしたら。
Green! Shiro told me I need another master.
Rain, I need a master who's actually useful. Saber's voice is quiet as she answers, and then she falls silent. Our conversation ends there. Tosaka and Saber both go back to their rooms. I'm left alone in the living room and find myself starting to regret what I did. Well, too late. I could have said it differently, so why did I have to say it the way I did? I don't know, probably because she wasn't listening when you tried to be reasonable.
Also because that's how scripts work.
Why was I only able to convince her with words that cut her so deep?
Because she's stubborn.
And now Artori's gonna start sulking because Shiro was actually able to utilize common sense correctly for once and beat her in an argument. Interlude! 6 minus 1. Fate.
What?
Interlude 6 minus 1 Fate. It's a quiet, windless night. It's past midnight. Darkness blankets the sky. The sky is night. Night has fallen. It's a new day. Midnight has come. The town itself is like a dark sea, illuminated only by moonlight and darkness, which blankets the sky. Overhead, the clouds move across the sky.
Okay, I don't know why my phone vibrated just now.
At ground level, there's not a breath of wind. Higher up, the air must be roaring as the clouds swim by.
風が出るな。
Maybe she hears the inaudible wind. She mutters quietly as she looks up into the windy sky. The young girl known as Saber stands quietly in the middle of the yard, glaring up at the sky. Her golden hair is beautiful, even in the dark of the night. Her clear green eyes remain on the moon as it flickers in and out of view. She glances toward the corner of the yard once. There's an old shed, Her lord sleeps there.
あなたが戦わないというのならいい。
There's a heavy clang. The sound of iron melts into the darkness without reaching anyone's ears. The moon hides, then reveals itself once again. As the clouds above float past, the girl's appearance changes radically. Solid, heavy armor. She can no longer be called a girl in her blue raiment. Now she's shrouded in steely armor woven of magical energy intense enough that it would overwhelm all others. In her hand she holds an invisible sword, concealed by the same magical energy that surpasses human understanding. The figure, once considered undefeatable in the battlefield, proves that someone like her still exists in this day and age. Though her sword is invisible, the majestic air she exudes proves her exceptional skill as a swordsman. This is what has made her saber. The hero of the sword, said to be the strongest of all the 7 servants. A knight among knights who remains ever civil and acts according to her lord's will, except for when she blatantly defies him to go to a temple. Whatever the other heroic spirits may be like, she remains the ideal swordsman who would never defy her lord except when she does to go to a temple. There's peaceful mountain lions there and she wants to see them.
Hush you.
But that ends tonight. She's here, defying her lord's orders. Rather, she's not truly disobeying her lord. This is her way of bringing her lord victory, the result of her own determination.
彼は甘い。それでは他のマスターに殺されるだけだ。
Remember how Shiro's a stubborn, suicidal idiot at the worst of times? Turns out he isn't the only stubborn, suicidal idiot around here. But this master will never change his ways. Then it must be her duty to be heartless. If her master will not fight, then this sword must.
傷は癒えていない。マスターからの魔力供給を期待できない。
But that still poses no hindrance in battle. After confirming her own abilities, she returns her gaze to the moon. She has no concern for the shed where her lord sleeps any longer. Now that she's armed and wearing her armor, the only thing on her mind is defeating her enemies. The moon darkens. The moment a large cloud covers the sky, Saber jumps over the walls of the mansion grounds. She runs through the darkness. The silvery swordsman rushes through the sleeping town. She has but one destination, Ryudo Temple, sitting at the heart of the stupid mountain on the town's outskirts. Even Saber understands how difficult it will be to single-handedly defeat the master lurking in the temple.
Artoria, I don't think we should go to the temple yet. But why, though?
Basic facts and logic, Saber. We'll handle it in a couple of days once we aren't nearly dead.
Y'all are bitches.
Yeah. Shiro is correct. She is bound to suffer great injury, or at worst to die herself. But how can she call herself a servant if she cannot do the impossible? Servants are driven by their superior abilities and unassailable pride. They're basically Saiyans. They're proud as heroes. They've earned that confidence in the numerous battles they fought. As heroic spirits whose lore has been passed down and respected since ancient times, they cannot lose no matter who they face.
Except you lose to each other all the time.
Numerous battles. What about people like Shakespeare? Who are just heroic spirits because they were really good at writing and are never in a battle. They could absolutely lose.
Also, the entire point of a Grail War is 6 of the 7 lose.
Imagine how fucking stupid you have to be to actually be able to say, Shiro is correct, I am a moron. She cannot even imagine defeat.
But you're also used to working under very different circumstances.
She is no exception. However much of her innocence may still be left to her, being granted the title of Saber is all the more reason she cannot ignore that pride. And that pride will not allow her to just sit by and do nothing when she can face her enemy. And so she must brave any traps that may await her, and face her enemy, even if she's alone, by herself, without a master, as she is. If she has no chance of winning, then she must simply use her sword to create one. Her sword is a celebrated blade. It has cut countless enemies down. As long as she has invisible air, there's nothing for her to fear. She runs through the mountain pass and up the road leading to the temple. After she cuts through the mountain pass, an imposing stone staircase awaits her. But then! This must be where the peaceful mountain lion lives. It is certainly different than the Ryudo temple she remembers. The air is stagnant. The wind is barren.
You know, I'd volunteer to read, because technically we're in Artoria's perspective right now, but I don't trust my ability to English.
The land's lifeline was contaminated long ago. The place is a land of death and peaceful mountain lions. The moment one enters, there can be no escape. Only escape. She does not hesitate. Saber does not so much as break stride as she runs up the steps. Scenery flies by. Her footsteps echo on the stone stairs as the mountain begins to stir. The stairs are long, stretching across a great distance. It's like one really long stair.
To be fair, Mar, again, we've been through this. Inu and I don't actually speak German. And I'd be super offensive to all actual Germans if I tried, because my approach would just be to make myself sound as angry as humanly possible.
Yeah, but we know German people and they understand. They know that their language just sounds angry all the time.
It does sound very aggressive.
The temple gates are far even for Saber, who shoots up the stairs like an arrow. So long are the stairs that it is impossible for one to pass through the gate undetected because of the length of the stairs. An ambush surely awaits along the way. Yeah, it'll be that aggressive mountain lion. Reaching the gate will not be easy. Oh, hey, I'm at the gate. Whatever schemes may await her, she must simply smash through them and keep moving. Nothing will stop her. Even were Berserker to appear before her, she would break through. Such is her determination, her confidence. She's reached the top. Just as she's about to reach the temple gates, the obstacle presents itself. But then! Ooh. Ooh. Look at this man! Saber stops. Despite her determination to push through, no matter what enemy she faces, she's surprised by a man standing there ominously.
Bio really likes whoever this person is.
You don't understand. This man is the legend. He appears so naturally, like a breeze. The man appears before her, lacking any trace of enmity, but leaves not a single opening for an attack. By the way, does the clothing give it away? Do you know who this man is immediately?
Nope.
No. Do you at least know where he's from immediately?
Well, I'm assuming Japan.
Yeah, okay. Like I said.
And our Thanksgiving was fine. Where our family gathers for Thanksgiving is what, about an hour and a half from where we live?
Depends on how fast you're driving.
So 2 hours when I drive home. But
He is literally the best swordsman in existence, sans one other person. Yeah.
so I assume this is Servant the Seventh. So this is all of the servants seen now.
Yes.
Okay. So this is so then this is Assassin.
This is Assassin.
貴様
Saber stops and readies her invisible sword. The man before her, backlit by the moon, ignores Saber's menacing glare as if it were nothing to him.
侍か
She has heard about them, but she's bewildered by the sight of one. What samurai has like a fucking 6-foot-long katana? You seen the length of this man's sword? This guy's Sephiroth over here.
For whatever reason, the only name that's coming to my mind is Oda Nobunaga, and I know that's not who this is.
That is absolutely in no way Oda Nobunaga.
But so I'm just gonna have to keep racking my brain. But literally, for whatever reason, that's the only name that's coming into my head. I'm like, that's not right. That's clearly not who this is.
Sephiroth wishes he could be as cool as this fucker over here. This is her second Holy Grail war.
Wait.
Even though she's seen many other heroic spirits, this is her first time seeing a servant like him.
You've never run into an assassin before.
No, she's never run into a samurai before. Sweat beads on Saber's brow. She isn't afraid. Rather, she's struggling to comprehend the situation. It's not as if she's never encountered strange servants. Incidentally, reminder for chat, I will immediately be deleting anything that's spoilers, so just don't do it and you won't get deleted. Certainly, there is no stranger and more mysterious servant than the archer of the previous war. By comparison, the servant before her is hardly frightening, and possesses no incredible weaponry.
I disagree.
He just has a very long sword. And that is exactly what makes it strange. He's just standing there, menacingly. She senses nothing from the man. You know someone is real shit when King Arthur takes a single look at them and starts fighting the urge to enter fight or flight mode. Yeah. There's no doubt he's a servant, but he seems to possess neither a noble phantasm nor magical energy. He should be an easy foe. Oh, you sweet summer child. Their fight should end in a single blow. But her instincts give her one very simple warning. Don't underestimate this man. This servant has a means of inflicting instant death. I mean, so did Ku, but you dealt with that. She can't get closer. His katana is unconventionally long for a Japanese sword, making it hard to gauge spacing. But more than that, Saber's position puts her at a huge disadvantage. He has the high ground.
He has the high ground and the longer weapon.
Don't try anything, Saber. I have the high ground. The man stands at the top of the stairs, and Saber stands below him. He's about 5 meters from her. His sword will reach her before she can rush him. But she feels nothing from his sword. Repelling it should be easy. She should not be afraid to step in, but Saber senses somehow that she should not.
These games really like repeating themselves. Many, many times before they get to the fucking point.
Saber adjusts her grip on her sword and glares at the enemy ahead of her.
Who has the high ground?
She should be able to take him, but she has this feeling that she just can't. He's above her, and she is below him. She may not know his identity, but she should at least be able to determine his class.
Well, he's wielding
He's
a sword,
holding a sword,
and you're the saber.
So he must be Saber.
Kiko. その身はいかなるサーバントか。
Hello, I am Saber.
Like, I feel like she's basically going,
Well, let's
you're
let's
not
see.
saber because I'm saber.
What servants have I not seen yet? I've not seen Archer, and I've not seen Assassin.
No,
I've not
she's
seen
seen Archer.
Caster, and I've not seen Assassin. So you're one of them. Which one are
Well,
you?
Technically, she's also not seen. She hasn't seen Lancer either.
Yes, she has. She fought him in Shiro's
So,
backyard.
sorry, not Lancer, Ryder.
That's true. She's not seen Ryder.
In this timeline.
But also, I think Shiro described Ryder, and she knows this is not a tall, purple-haired woman in scantily clad, in scanty clothes and like a fucking blindfold.
That is
So,
true.
She's pretty sure this isn't Ryder. Which, still, her options are Assassin and Caster. Saber doesn't expect an answer. After a brief smile,
アサシンのサーバント佐々木小次郎
there it is. Does-
Oh, wow. Just introducing himself.
Yes, just straight up. Yeah, no, he just straight up says his name. Do you know who Sasaki Kojiro is?
The name sounds familiar, so I know I've heard of them, but the what of what they did, not in my brain.
So, Kojiro...
Oh, but he was in Sengoku Basara, I think, as a unit.
No, you're thinking of Kojuro,
Oh, well.
who was, you know, Masamune's right-hand man. That's not this guy. That's a different guy.
Boo.
This is Sasaki Kojiro, who was a contemporary to Miyamoto Musashi, and was the guy that Musashi was supposed to have a duel with, that Musashi won because they showed up late and the sun was in his eyes. But also, this dude, like, just developed a technique to kill birds because they were annoying. By stabbing them 3 times at once.
Like, there's apparently zero fucks whatsoever about the don't tell anyone your name shit. Remember what happened the last time someone was upfront about their servant's name?
Yeah, the last time that happened was, oh, I don't know, Heracles.
Yeah.
And then Artoria got destroyed. The servant's reply is given in a sing-song voice. Saber cannot help but be surprised. Yeah, as soon as this guy was introduced when we played through this the first time, it was like, oh, it's Kojiro. I went, oh my god, A, I know who that is, and B, I know what his Noble Phantasm is already. Like, before it was even introduced, I knew what it was. Because there's one thing that Kojiro is known for. Servants generally conceal their identities. What sort of servant would so bluntly and proudly give his name? Sasaki Kojiro, obviously.
And, well, I guess technically Heracles didn't give his name.
Ilya did, but Heracles can't speak except in rectangles right now, so, you know.
貴様何を
He's just some...
何をとは無粋だな。立ち会いの前に名を明かすのは当然であろう。それがそなたのように見目麗しい相手ならばなおのこと。
Yeah,
だというのに。
he's just some guy who got bored one day and decided to go up the mountain to train at swords, and then became one of the best swordsmen in all of history because he was bored. Yep. The man who introduced himself as Sasaki Kojiro, the assassin, appears to enjoy Saber's confusion. There's no way Saber knows. She has no idea the servant is a swordsman who wields a longsword called Mono Hoshizao, and was rumored to have been an unrivaled swordsman during the Keicho era in Japan. Knowing, of course, would change nothing. This man's origin is unknown, and even his existence is uncertain. His story was told only by word of mouth, and there is perhaps only one person in the world who knows the true identity of the man who was hailed as the greatest swordsman in the world. The man who never left a mark in history, but was Sasaki Kojiro's archenemy, and the only one to have ever defeated him. Because he showed up late and the sun was in Kojiro's eyes. So how can this man be called a hero? The assassin, Sasaki Kojiro, is a presence far removed from Saber herself. Who among heroic spirits could know the abilities of a swordsman who could not himself normally be a heroic spirit?
だが
He's not a servant because he's a particularly legendary figure. He's a servant because he's just that goddamn good. Yeah, basically. Two things are clear for her. One is that the man before her is an enemy, and the other is that he has willingly identified himself.
参りました。名乗られたからにはこちらも名乗り返すのは騎士の礼です。
Saber's voice is grave. Revealing her true name poses an immense risk.
Well, yeah, but you don't want to practice bad form, do you, Artoria?
That wouldn't be very kingly of you. She cannot reveal her true name, even under torture, nor does she have any intention of doing so. However, this is only in the name of her pursuit of victory. For this same reason, she cannot tarnish her knight's honor.
小次郎と言いましたね。アサシンのサーバントよ。私は。
よい。名乗れば名乗り返さねばならぬ相手であったか。いや、無粋な真似をしたのは私であった。
The man descends the stairs gracefully. Menacingly.
Are you really giving her an out for identifying herself? You colossal douche!
He's such a good guy. Man is such a bro. Assassin confronts Saber, taking slow steps down the stairs.
そのようなことで敵を知ろうとは思わぬ。我らにとって敵を知るにはこの刀だけで十
Also
分であろう。
The best part, he's also a fucking bro. Well, you gave me your name, so I shall have to give you mine. Nah, it's fine. I gave you my name because I'm built different. You don't need to.
違うか、セイバーのサーバントよ。
Wink.
Wink.
そう驚くこともあるまい。貴様の持つそれが何であるかは分からぬが、身にまとった殺気は剣士のもの。
I love this. I can't see what you're actually holding, but the amount of murder around you it suggests a swordsman.
Yeah. It just screams swordsman.
目がくらむほどの美しい剣気。その貴様がセイバー以外の何者であろうか。
Says I, the swordsman, who's not a saber. Like, I'm just saying. The logic doesn't track here.
Yeah, but Archer wields 2 short swords and is an archer. What's your point?
Well, yeah, but also I assume that even when she's classified as a writer, Artoria still uses Excalibur. Like,
No, she does not. She uses Rungaminiad, the lance of the world.
Okay, well I assume there's at least a writer that uses a sword.
Yeah, I guess Alexander technically has a sword.
So my point being, like, murderous intent and wielding sword does not necessarily mean saber.
He takes a step closer. Assassin descends the stone steps and he points his sword at Saber.
神明など知らずともよい。ただ、セイバーというサーバントがこの刃に敗れるだけの話だ。
I will defeat you and take your class for my own.
言葉で
Then I will be Saber.
もっとより、サーバントとはそういうものであろう。
The swordsman laughs joyfully.
なるほど。それは確かにその通りです。
As Saber speaks, she readies her sword.
それでよい。では、果たし合おうぞセイバー。サーバント随一と言われるその剣に、しかと見せてもらわねばな。
Yeah, good point, Bio. The thing is, I always forget that they are lancers because they're on horses. Like, weirdly, the only rider versions of Saber aren't on horses, but the horsebound versions are lancers.
Okay, but does
There
that
are,
still...
there are, however, 2 rider versions of Saber. One of them does use an Excalibur. The other one uses a sniper rifle and or a broom.
I'd ask you to show me, but then Bio would get mad. We're not gonna do that.
She's a combat maid. Don't worry about it.
And yes, you are right, fun guy. That my brief pause of saying nothing was to blink and go, huh?
A silver light leaps. Solid and soft. The battle between 2 very different swordsmen begins under the moonlight. Fight!
New servant data added.
Interlude out. Okay, bye interlude 6-1. Meanwhile, back at the shed. Nug! It's not as good as... I wake up to a searing pain in my chest. Feels like I've just had a bad dream. Or indigestion.
胸が痛い。
Saber's dying, it's fine.
My heart feels like it's burning. Actually, feels more heat from... Actually, it feels more heat from outside has been forced into my body. More like...
I was about to say, I assume there's
outside?
supposed to be a like there.
Guys? Okay, guys, come on.
その側から。
I doubt myself briefly. But before I can think of what it might be, I find myself rushing outside.
Saber, いるか?
I open the sliding screen door to Saber's room.
あいつ、まさか。
No, there's no doubt. If she's not here, she went to Ryudo Temple on her own. No!
バカ野郎、なんで？体だって治りきってないのに、どうしてわざわざ？
I don't know, probably because you didn't use a command seal to force her to stay put. I'm so angry my head is starting to hurt. I didn't tell her I wasn't going to fight. I just didn't want her to get hurt like that again. Now, Shiro, please be smart and go get Reen.
Or just use a command seal to
warp
order
her back.
To order Artoria to come back.
There's no point in fuming here. I need to hurry to Ryudo Temple. I can't let Saber fight alone. Well, she's not fighting alone. She's fighting with Assassin. It's very difficult to fight alone. Well, I don't know what good I can do her, but if I get there, maybe I can do something. I didn't tell her we weren't gonna fight. I told her we weren't going to fight right now. God, how could she be this stupid? Does she think she's me or something?
I'm sorry. No. We need to go back to that she's a girl, why can't she just behave herself statement. Fuck you, Shiro Emiya.
I run. I don't even take the time to change. Out the front, I grab a bike and pedal as hard as I can. I pedal down the hill without braking.
No, gentlemen treat women with respect. They do not try and tell women what they can and cannot do.
Not in 2004 Japan, they don't. It'll take at least 40 minutes to Ryudo... What? It'll take at least 40 minutes to Ryudo Temple.
To get to Ryudo Temple.
Even if I rush. Ryudo Temple is a verb now. It'll take at least 40 minutes for me to Ryudo Temple.
Look, he's panicking. He's not Englishing well.
I don't know how long it's been since Saber left, but I need to get to her as fast as I can.
Also, I love...
It is worth reiterating that Shiro is only like this towards Artoria. This does not make for a good outlook on Shiro overall because of how weird he is towards her and only her.
I will say, I do love, too, that, that Trav is like... I'd really been hoping Willow wasn't going to ignore that comment.
Oh, interlude 6-2. Fate. Meanwhile, over here, the blades cross. The edges of both swords come into contact again and again. Stroke after stroke. Sword and katana alike spark as they strike and parry. But katana is also a sword. Like, it's not like it's a different thing. Several dozen exchanges like this later, and neither opponent has changed position. That is a fucking cool message, by the way.
It is. I'd been thinking the same thing.
Assassin, standing higher on the steps, holds his ground, because he has the high ground. Saber, who is trying to advance up the stone steps, can't get any closer to Assassin. Over time, she bleeds more and more energy. Just do a sick flip over him. That's never ended poorly for anyone, ever. One of Saber's many attempts at rushing in. Assassin effortlessly swings his long blade, fully 1.5 meters, and halts Saber's advance. No, he's not simply preventing an advance. If Saber's blade is lightning, Assassin's katana is a hurricane. Though Assassin may be no match for her in strength or speed, the flexible trajectory of his blade sweeps aside Saber's every attack. The ricocheting katana gains speed and flips back towards Saber's neck like a gust of wind. Just do a sick flip over him. That never ended poorly ever. Especially now when the person you're doing a sick flip over also happens to have the high ground. Not even once. Exactly. Even as Saber dodges the blow by only a hairbreadth, the long katana flicks back toward her, giving her not a moment's rest. In contrast to Saber's straight sword, Assassin's blade is curved because it's a katana.
Brain, stop. It's literally doing the they've got curved sword thing from Skyrim. when they're talking about, like, you know, did you see those red guards?
Yeah, but they've got curved swords, Willow. Curved swords!
Yeah, thank you, Mark.
It's not how you spell curved, but, you know, close enough. Assassin's cutting edge is graceful, but it also draws a long, extended arc. No, she's not in this game. He shouldn't be able to match Saber's sword as it moves in a straight line, but he somehow cancels out that difference. Yeah, he just no-dips it. Don't worry about it. She suddenly stops. It's hammer time. Her blade isn't moving fast enough to block Assassin's counterattack. She falls back a pace, knowing it's the only way she can avoid the incoming strike. Assassin's katana traces a fascinatingly beautiful arc, but at the same time, it's so fast that it's nearly impossible to follow. Is this seeming impossibility owed to Assassin's skill, or is it owed instead to Saber being at a disadvantageous position in their battle, i.e. having the low ground? Unable to reach a clear conclusion, Saber continues dodging Assassin's strikes and turns aside the blade as it arcs toward her neck with her own weapon.
Here, I'll do you a favor. You now have a screenshot of the cool image. I'm being a good sister.
The next thing she knows, she's retreated a few more steps down the stairs. That's the extent of his long katana's reach. It would be easy to rush up close to him once she sweeps his sword aside, but for some reason she just can't do it. It must be owed to the enemy's superb skills and her own position below him, at the low ground, while he has the high ground, which puts her at a disadvantage. Saber bites her lip, thinking she wouldn't have such a hard time against that long katana if they were on flat ground, or she was not at a lower elevation.
見えない剣というものがこれほど厄介とは思わなかった。
Assassin is unmoved. He's fighting purely to defend. Also, as a reminder, Artoria is literally one of the single most well-known mythological figures in human history, and she's getting no-sold by just a guy. I don't think that particularly matters much for Kojiro. His field power bonus from Japan, yeah, it doesn't matter much for him, specifically due to his many unique circumstances. Yeah.
見れば刀を見ることさえ初めてであろう。私の剣筋は邪道でな。波のものならばまず一撃で首を落とす。それをここまで防ぐとは嬉しいぞ、セイバー。加えて打ち込みも素晴らしい。その勝負でこれほどの剣撃を行うからにはさぞ鍛え抜かれた全身であろう。
Assassin watches Saber, his posture relaxed, perhaps simply because he needn't go on the offensive. The tip of his blade wavers, losing strength. But Saber cannot seize the opportunity, or the day. The man is not holding a stance. A long katana like that can only be wielded as long the wielder... What?
Long as. They're missing a word again.
A long katana like that can only be wielded as long the wielder is able to swing the sword from any position.
I'm Englishing better than you did.
It's the game that's Englishing poorly.
見かけ倒しではなかろう
Wink with the other eye this time.
He likes
いつまでも減らず口を。
Come on, game. Don't you ruin Gojo's moment with all these typos.
よし当たりだ
Oh, he has her now. The longsword stops mid-swing. Assassin grins, glancing at his katana where it stopped the invisible sword, then parries again. While Saber catches the flash coming at her neck. Even Saber knows. She's been able to block Assassin's unfamiliar sword work thanks to her invisible sword. Her invisible sword can confuse the opponent's senses, both offensively and defensively. Assassin not following through on his attacks is proof of this. Not knowing how long Saber's sword is makes it too dangerous for Assassin to close in on her. If Assassin were to step in to attack Saber, he'll do so when Saber tries to smash Assassin's forehead. That attack, Assassin dodges it completely as he takes just a step back. Also keep in mind that he's been expertly parrying all this shit with zero effort while the sword he's parrying is literally invincible. Invisible, I think you mean.
形状はセイバーの名の通り典型的な西洋の剣だな
God, man, he's good. It's roughly 3 shaku, 4 sun, so like 102 centimeters. Or 90 centimeters long, 12 centimeters wide. Assassin may have spoken calmly, but his exceptional skill at appraising the blade is clear. Saber's strike had been so fast that even were her sword visible, it would have been almost impossible to see. And yet, not only has he managed to defend himself from the invisible blade, he's also figured out its size and shape.
信じられない。何の魔術も使わず、満足に打ち合ってもいないというのに、私の剣を測ったのですか。あな
I've
た
thought our exchange has been quite satisfying, personally.
驚いたかだがこんなものは大道芸であろうよ邪剣使いゆえこのような
that thing
技ば
that's
かり
really
うまく
impressing you? No biggie.
なるほど。私の一撃をまともに受けず、ただ払うだけがあなたの戦いだった。邪剣使いとは、その逃げ腰から来た俗称ですか。
Howard. He walked right up to you, introduced himself by name, and has then been trading blows with you. What part of that's a coward, Artoria?
This man's name tag might say a saffron hat. Like, he's trying so hard to be...
Uh-oh.
What?
Red light.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Which I only noticed because I looked down and saw my own phone buffering.
Fun party.
Oh, green light.
Okay. Alright. Well, we'll see if that happens again, but...
Well, we may just have to play red light, green light a little bit. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, his name tag might say assassin, but this guy is trying so desperately hard to be a saber. He's like, I'm gonna introduce myself, I'm gonna just walk up to people, I'm gonna challenge them to a straight up fight, I'm not gonna try to stab them from the shadows like, you know, an assassin would do.
いやいやまともに打ち合わぬ無礼は許せ何しろこの長刀だ打ち合えば折れるは必定お主としては力勝負こそが基本なのだろうがこちらはそうはいかぬその剣と組み合い力を競い合うことはできんもとより刀というものはそういうものだ 西洋の剣はその重さと
He's
力
also
で
being
物を
bro
叩
enough
き
to explain how his sword works to her.
Well, yeah, he's like, let me explain katanas to you, Western girl.
だが我らの刀は早戦いが噛み合わぬのは道理であろう。まあしかしこれではいささか興がそがれる。もう良い頃合いだぞセイバー。いい加減手の内を隠すのはやめにしろ。
Meanwhile, I'm just picturing Artoria going, fun fact, don't actually have my full power right now. My master's kind of worthless.
Artoria is just a sore loser, yeah.
朝日
He's calling him a coward for not using his sword like a fucking claymore. But the dude's just good enough to know that there's a difference between a claymore and a fucking katana. Oh,
していないとでも言うの
Oh,
か。
red light.
alright.
I'm also giving people the same advice because mine hasn't quite recovered yet. Okay, that's better. Alright. So, Mar, it's not that we have German internet. It's that every now and then, so the reason I call it red light, green light.
So Willow is the embodiment of German internet.
I am a walking Wi-Fi glitch, yes. But, for everything but my own home Wi-Fi. But the thing is, Mar, the reason I call it red light, green light is because when I'm watching OBS on one of the other monitors that Inu and I have up, it gives a little red light in the corner when the signal's not working the way it's supposed to. So it's fine. Let's see. And yes, the I almost called it the Inu net. The internet here is cursed. It's been a long-standing problem, although it, to the best of my knowledge, is far more prevalent when I am present. It's why I tend not to be in chat super frequently for the Thursday streams, is because I don't want to accidentally break Inu's Wi-Fi any more than I already do.
Yeah, having fiber would be lovely. Unfortunately, that's not an option. We have exactly one choice, and so I have to deal with it.
Yeah,
I cannot fire my ISP and get a better one.
it was briefly yellow, but it went right back to green, so I think we're still okay. What are you saying? You're not. Your intentions are, but with your sheath on is something is somewhat insulting.
ほう。それでも応じないという顔だな。よかろう。ならばここまでだ。お前が出し惜しみをするのなら、先に我が秘剣をお見せしよう。
Well, fine, be that way. If you won't show me yours, I'll show you mine. And with that, but then, the swordsman with the long katana drifts down next to Saber. For an assassin to give up his advantageous position is as good as inviting defeat. He may be a superb swordsman, but it was the landscape of their battleground that gave him the advantage. If the two are to fight on level ground, Saber should have no trouble repelling Assassin's attack and taking his head then and there.
Yep, welcome to the problem, Supreme.
Yeah. Assassin should know this as well. So why?
構えよ。でなければ死ぬぞ、セイバー。
Saber instinctively reacts to the smoothness in his voice. For he is speaking the truth. Assassin descending the steps has not put her in an advantageous position.
So, when I read Saber instinctively reacts to the smoothness in his voice, I'm like, so Saber goes, love your voice, would tap.
That gives me the tingles.
Yeah. Fuck, marry, kill, why not all three?
Yeah, right? Although technically, Saber is married. Her intuition, which has enabled her to triumph in so many battles, warns her of her mistake. Artoria is really stuck on the point of this guy's an assassin, so he has to be shit in a 1v1, when everything about him has indicated that he is not a normal assassin. She readies her invisible sword.
Which is apparently still in a sheath.
Well, the
the wing.
is the sheath, yes.
Okay. I
There's-
thought that might be what he was referring to, but I wasn't sure.
There's no room to hesitate. What matters is that she has to attack with her sword before Assassin swings his long katana. Oh, he's doing the stance! Roughly 3 meters separates the two. He readies himself. The stance he takes now is one he has not taken in the battle so far.
危険
Saber charges. He said the word. The long katana is meaningless now. The moment she draws near Assassin, the katana will become a liability. And yet,
ツバメ返し
there it is. Such logic means little to a swordsman like him. Lightning strikes. Faster even than Saber's blade, the demonic blow strikes down in a single straight line. But it's not as if Saber can't block such an attack. She quickly raises her sword to defend, repelling Assassin's attack.
Until.
But then, even Assassin will be left open after an attack like that is turned aside. In that split-second interval, as Saber attempts to cut through Assassin's stomach,
She gets stabbed in the chest.
swiftly, trusting in her instincts, Saber rolls down the stone steps. She just drops to the ground and rolls down the stairs. She's like, fuck that! I'm not getting hit by that.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. I mean, he did Tsubame Gai, sure. She makes no effort even to soften her landing. All Saber does is frantically hurl herself down the stairs, slowing for nothing.
Yeet.
Oh shit, that'll kill me. If I fall down the stairs, I might break an arm, but at least I won't be dead. Saber stops rolling and gets to her feet.
Well, dead until the next punk in a shed summons her for a grail war.
Above her on the stairs, she sees the swordsman standing at his ease.
ほうかわしたか我が秘剣さすがはセイバーツバメなどとは格が違う
You dodged my undodgeable blow, Saber.
今のはまさか
By the way, that bit at the end there was kind of weird. You are clearly the superior of a swallow.
Well, no, he's saying she's harder to kill than the birds he's famous for killing.
Correct.
I followed what he was saying there.
So just to be clear, this attack is a borderline capital M magic, like true magic. And he figured out how to do near magic from nothing else but being really bored and swinging his sword at birds a lot. Yep.
何そう大した芸ではないたまさかツバメを切ろうと思いつき 身についただけのものだからな。
See, I was in the mountains, and I was just really bored, and this fucking swallow was really annoying me, and I wanted to kill it. So I did. He raises his long katana up high. The motion is done as if to mimic the demonic sword's motions he demonstrated earlier to intimidate Saber.
見えるかセイバー。ツバメはな、風を受けて刀を避ける。早かろうが遅かろうが関係はない。どのような刀であろうと大気を震わさずには触れぬであろう。
So the answer is just to hit them from three sides simultaneously.
飛ぶ方向ゆえに、どのような一撃であれ、ツバメを立つことはできなかった。所詮刀など一本線に過ぎぬ。縦横に空を行くツバメを捉えられぬは道理よな。
You don't need to achieve the second magic trying to kill a
なら
bird.
ば逃げ道を囲めばいいだけのこと。一の太刀でツバメを襲い、風を読んで避けるツバメの逃げ道を続く二の太刀で取り囲む。しかし連中は素早くてな。この長刀ではまず二の太刀が間に合わん。ことを成したければ一息のうちほぼ同時に行わなければならなかったが、そのような真似は人の技ではない。叶うことなどあるまいと承知したものだが。
However, I really just wanted to kill that bird.
Yeah, I was desperate to kill this swallow. You have no
他
idea.
にやることもなかったのでな。
Fortunately for you, I had nothing better.
Unfortunately, like, I realized it was impossible, and I'm like, well, this probably isn't worth pursuing, but frankly, I've got nothing better to do, so let's do it anyway.
一年寄進に通じるというが、気がつけばこの通りよ。
So then, I made the impossible possible, because that's the way Team Sasaki rolls.
複数の太刀筋で牢獄を作り上げる危険となった。
Saber cannot help but disagree with his matter-of-fact narrative.
But it's how it happened.
It is untrue.
No, it's not.
His technique is not as simple as he claims.
Shut your bitch mouth. Yes, it is.
Execute 2 attacks simultaneously? Impossible. He
Fuck you,
literally
leave him
just
alone.
did it.
Also, he's being super chill and explaining how his super secret move works to you because he's mildly impressed that you dodged it. So,
By the way, just for your benefit, let me show you something. Let me just drop into the assassin list here real quick, because there's something you need to understand. How many stars does that man have on top of his servant card?
1.
It's literally like, apart from the single 0-star servant in the game, that is like the weakest one can conceivably be. And yet, even in the game, this man is capable of outputting absurd levels of damage in the right circumstances. The 2 blades struck at exactly the same time. So how is it impossible if it just happened? Come on, Saber, really. In that moment, there existed 2 separate katana.
奇襲はゼルレッジ。何の魔術も使わず、ただ剣技だけで宝具の域に達したサーバント。
Also, Sabame Gaish is not a noble phantasm, at least not in the traditional sense. It's his most famous technique and requires no mana to use, so he can just spam that shit as much as he wants. Yeah, it's just pure skill. So as long as he has the remaining strength to wave his arms around, he can just keep doing that forever. Certainly to be admired. That single blow made it very clear. Also, casual Zelrich mentioned. Sasaki Kojiro does not possess a noble phantasm as heroic spirits typically do. All he has is his magical sword and its sheer power, reaching the realm of the gods. What's astonishing is that this man, a mere human, has managed to stand on equal ground with a heroic spirit who possesses a noble phantasm.
だが足場が悪かったな。ツバメ返しの奇跡は本来3つ。もうわずかに広ければ横の一撃も加えられたのだが。
Oh yeah, by the way, the only reason you're still alive is I didn't have enough room to get the third hit. Wait, what?
そうでしょうね。そうでなければ不完全です。すべてが同時であるなら、ミノたちはどうしても遅くなる。それを補うために、横方向への離脱を阻む三の太刀があるはずだ。
いい飲み込みの速さだ。だからこそ我が秘剣をかわしたか。
My secret technique that I announced when I was doing.
Yeah?
素晴らしいぞ、セイバー。このような属性に呼び出された我が身を呪ったが、それも今宵まで。生前では叶わなかった立ち会い。我が秘剣を存分に振る舞える殺し合いができるのならば、呼び出された甲斐があるというもの。
Sasaki Kojiro is, simply put, just a normal guy. He's just the most fucking busted swordsman who's ever lived, and that alone puts him on even footing with history's strongest heroes. Yep. Assassin readies his sword again and descends the stone steps. He must be after Saber's head. Saber is not confident she will be able to dodge that secret technique again. Like Lancer's Gay Bulg, Assassin's Swallow Reversal, Tsubame Gaish, thank you, is a technique that one cannot allow the wielder to use. Except, unlike Gay Bulg, against which one can defend once they understand what it is and know that it will strike at the heart, there is no defense against Assassin's secret weapon. It can't be evaded, even when one knows what it is, because it's literally undodgeable. If there's a defense, it lies in preventing him from using the attack. The only way to defeat him is to deliver a devastating blow before Assassin can unleash his secret technique.
なるほど。確かに手加減など許される相手ではなかったようだ。
She lowers both her hands. Saber drops the tip of her invisible sword as if driving it into the ground and glares up at Assassin as he approaches.
ほう、そうか。ようやくその気になったか、セイバー。
Assassin stops descending the steps and readies his secret technique once more. Saber looks at him, bravely.
不満がないのはこちらも同じだ。我が一撃、受け切れるか、アサシンのサーバント。
Saber releases her own restraints. The air trembles. As if responding to her will, her sword releases a torrential gust of wind. Assassin retreats several steps. The gale force winds released from Saber's sword are extraordinary. Even the thick trees on either side of the temple gates creak and groan. So strong is the wind, it all but explodes outward from her blade. The atmosphere sealed within is released and roars outward in all directions. Saber's sword releases a gust of wind that could easily carry off a human being. This is her blade's power. It summons tornadoes! The invisible air is, as the name implies, a sword that has sealed up wind. The sword, sheathed in compressed wind, reflects and refracts light to give it the appearance of being invisible. This is what happens when the wind is released. The released air seeks escape and dissipates into its surroundings in chaotic gusts. During that time, her sword's commanding magecraft allows her to freely manipulate the raging wind.
The waging wind.
The waging wind. As Saber possesses incredible amounts of magical energy, she should be able to maintain the bounded field for a few minutes. The truth of this is made apparent by the fact that her sword, even after releasing so much energy, remains invisible.
さながら台風といったところだが、しかし
The howling winds do not die down. The unleashed winds are about to engulf Assassin.
この程度のはずがない。その奥にあるもの、見せてもらうぞ、セイバー。
Assassin closes in despite the raging, blinding wind. Saber's arm moves. The wind-infused blade roars, readying itself to intercept Assassin, who advances calmly, slowly in spite of the gale force winds, strong enough to prevent most people from even approaching. New servant data added. Interlude out.
New servant data added, meaning Artoria did a thing that you didn't know Artoria could do.
Yes.
なんだあれ
It's called Stairs, Shiro. When I reach Ryudo Temple, I'm greeted by the sound of air rushing at me like a typhoon.
His stupid ass is about to get Artoria hurt, isn't it?
セイバーだよなあそこにいるの
At the top of the stairs, in front of the temple gates, I see an armored figure who must be Saber, fighting someone wearing a kimono. The data update was also probably because Kojiro used his big attack, to be fair. Possibly. The wind swirls around Saber and the surrounding trees creak under the gale force intensity.
くそ近づけるのかよこれ
The wind is so intense I can't even keep my eyes open. Head down, I manage to fight my way closer to the stairs, but the wind only gets stronger.
ダメだこれじゃ
I can't get closer to Saber. Far ahead, I can see Saber fighting someone, but I can't do anything. No, even if I manage to get closer to Saber in this wind, I'll only hold her back. My left hand hurts again. The command spells engraved on the back of my hand tingle. I don't know what that means. But every time my hand tingles, I can't help but remember that scene.
くそこうなったらやけだ
I close my eyes and stretch my hands toward the stairs. I get down onto my hands and knees, hoping to avoid being blown off my feet, and begin crawling up the stairs. The wind intensifies. Even a novice mage like me can tell incredible amounts of magical energy are raging above me. My command spells tingle, and the roar of the wind warns me something is happening up above.
待てもしかしてこれ
Saber's magical energy?
あい
If it
つ
is,
あんな体で何を無茶だ
no, should she even be doing something like that?
Probably not, no.
Saber can't recover magical energy.
Nope, sure can't, because you're useless.
She shouldn't be wasting it like this. I need to step in and handle the fighting and have Saber support me instead, or else she might run out of magical energy.
I don't think that's gonna go well for you.
I mean, surely Right, he managed to, like, not get completely skewered when he was fighting Ku. And this guy's literally just a guy, so surely he should at least be able
No.
to do that much.
No.
Also, just to put this out there, I don't think Artoria has at all considered how screwed she'll be, even if she does beat Kojiro here, because she's going to be tapped on energy on Caster's doorstep. I mean, she doesn't know that is the problem.
Yeah, she just knows there is a spirit at the temple.
They know there's a servant at the temple.
As far as she's
found the
aware,
servant.
this could be them.
They also know that the temple has a woman boarder recently, but that could just be Assassin's Master for all she knows. I stand up and start running up the stairs.
But you just... No.
Now's not the time to be crawling.
Shiro. Dude. I know being the least consistent human being on the face of the earth is your entire thing, but could you please, for once, pull your fucking shit together?
He did. He was like, I should crawl up these stairs so that I don't get knocked over by the wind. Never mind, there's no time, gotta go fast.
Right, that's exactly what I'm saying. He shouldn't be fucking doing all the goddamn time. I'm gonna do this. No, I'm gonna do this. I've changed my mind. I'm doing this now. This is why you fail.
Pretty sure they also reasoned out with the scale of magical energy that was being manipulated from up the temple, that the only one capable of doing that is a caster servant. I mean, that's what Reen said, but how many times has Reen been wrong? I don't know what Saber has in mind, but I have to stop her. As I try to dash to the temple gate, something like a dagger flies right by me. I don't know what miracle let me dodge it. I turn to look away from the stairs into the trees. There's no doubt about it. I didn't notice it in this torrential wind, but there's someone hiding nearby. I shout for whoever is hiding in the tree line. Now who's in the tree line, Willow?
Well, last time it was Ryder in the tree line.
The strong wind should have drowned my voice out. To my surprise, my voice echoes up the stairs. There, near the temple gate, I see a man in a kimono, wielding a longsword, and also wielding Saber's back, apparently.
そこまでにしておけ、セイバー。その秘剣、盗み見ようとする輩がいる。
Hey, Saber, I'm gonna stop you there. Somebody's watching our fight, and I don't want them to know who you are. I would like to know who you are, but I don't want other people to know who you are, so maybe back off. The man in the kimono smiles as he speaks. Like me, he's staring out into the forest. This guy is such a fucking bro.
我らだけの勝負にはなるまい。生き残った者に、そこに潜んだ恥知らずが襲いかかるか、それともお前の秘剣を盗み見るだけが目的なの。
Whoever is hiding in the trees is a better assassin type unit than me. Everyone's mistyped in this ground war.
Well, I mean, Archer's a saber, Saber's a saber, Assassin is a saber.
Assuming that I'm right, and this is Ryder again. Ryder's pretending she's an assassin.
Everybody just wants to be a class that they're not, except Caster.
I was about to say, Caster seems to understand that she's a caster.
And then when someone else shows up to take a peek at Artoria's secret shit during their 1v1, Kojiro calls things immediately because that wouldn't be fair for Artoria if she did beat him in the end. He's such a fucking cool dude.
あまり気乗りのする話ではないな。
In either case, peace.
Yeah. In either case, I'm done with this shit. Good night. Get the fuck out of my temple. The man turns to climb the stairs, seemingly totally disinterested.
待て。決着をつけないつもりか、アサシン。
Some other time.
お前がこの三門を越えるというのであらば、決着はつけよう。何者であれ、この門をくぐることは私が許さん。
Excuse me, can I stop by during the day to see my friend?
So, You won't let anyone pass through the temple gate.
That's what he said.
But Castor's up there.
Yeah. And?
I'm probably wrong. I'll just sit on it.
だがあいにくと私の役目はそれだけでな。
The only explanation is there must be two masters up there. Probably in some kind of an alliance.
Or there's also always the possibility that Castor somehow, because it's been stated mages can summon heroic spirits. There's also technically a non-zero possibility Castor could just also be the master for assassin. It'd be dumb, but it'd be theoretically possible.
That would be wildly against the rules of the Holy Grail War, but...
Since when does anyone give a shit about the rules of the Holy Grail War?
Fair point. Remember, they mentioned when they were here during the dead end that it felt like there was a guardsman at the gate, but nobody was actually present. Yep.
帰るというのであらば止める気はない。まあそこに隠れているたわけは別だが、気に入らぬ相手であれば死んでも倒産
Like
し、
Chad.
生きても
Screw
返
the
す。
rules. We have command spells.
Yeah. They're not quite true magic, but they're... You know, they can do a lot of shit. Assassin continues up the stairs.
踊らされたな、セイバー。だが、もう一人の気配に気がつかなかった私も同じだ。あのままでおけば危険のすべてを味わえたであろうが、良いところで邪魔が入った。そなたにとっては良好であったか。
Yeah, remember, the Holy Grail follows very strict rules and guidelines, except when they don't, which is most of the time. But the only person participating in the Grail War who gives a damn about the rules is Rain and Shiro. And Shiro is a dumbass who knows nothing, and Rain famously tends to be horribly wrong.
Well, the thing is, she's not horribly wrong about what the rules are. It's just no one else gives a damn.
There has been so much underhanded shit with this war already that we don't find out about until Hollow Ataraxia. It's like, it's incredible. Saber hangs her head in regret.
You drank every time her rule got broken, you die. Basically, what I'm hearing chat say unofficially is my ridiculous theory isn't actually that ridiculous because the only person that follows what the rules actively should be is Reen.
Yeah, like I said, it would be wildly against the rules, but essentially ever since the Third Grail War, when the rules got introduced, everybody kept breaking them anyways. Saber's intent to kill fades. Not because of Assassin's words, but because Saber must have realized that keeping up the fight would leave her at a disadvantage. The rules are in place, but they're almost always broken and hardly ever enforced in the first place. They're really rules.
お前のマスターであろう。
Yeah.
盗み見をするたわけが、その小僧に標的を変える前に立
No,
ち去る。
Ryder likes him.
Assuming that it's actually Ryder and not like Berserker.
Berserker wouldn't have thrown a dagger, he'd have thrown a tree.
Maybe Ilya only gave him daggers this time. He's like, you have to use these.
No, he'd have just uprooted a tree and threw a tree.
Maybe Ilya threw the dagger.
In an effort to keep him from interfering in the fight?
So that
no.
she could see who Saber was, yes.
No. Ilya doesn't give a shit who Saber is because she has Heracles.
You're right. It was probably Archer.
No, definitely Shinji. Except he was actually aiming to kill and his aim's just bad.
Berserker silently growling while throwing daggers. Yep. Hey, Saber, you should probably grab your master and leave. It would suck if some coward tried to assassinate him, and that shit's just lame. an assassin. Truly built different. Yeah, and just like that, assassin disappears.
Just like that sounds like beast.
This must be his way of telling us that he won't attack unless we keep going. Stay the fuck out of my front yard and I won't murder stab you. Saber says nothing.
Silver lining, it's the one assassin you don't have to worry about backstabbing you. He will only ever front stab.
Not only that, he won't even leave the gate. He's like, this is where I stay. Anybody that wants to fight me has to come here.
What?
Those are the rules. Even when I call to her, she doesn't answer. Seems strange, so I begin climbing the steps.
This didn't end well for you last time, Shiro. Just saying, climbing the steps got you killed last time.
Also, Willow, you really need to keep in mind that while Ryder likes Shiro, her master is still Shinji, and that bastard could do anything. Saber's armor vanishes. Defenseless and in her simple blue clothing, she sways on the spot without turning around.
Because she fucking exhausted herself.
She used too much magical energy, yep. I catch Saber in my arms as she falls backward down the stairs. She doesn't move a muscle. She's unconscious, eyes shut in pain. Oh no, she de-magical girled herself. We finally get home. It took me 2 hours to carry Saber back from Ryoto Temple. Didn't you take a bike? I was worried the whole return trip, but we managed to get back safely. Did you just leave the bike there?
No, clearly what he did was he tore strips of fabric from his own clothing, tied Saber to the bike, and then sidewalked the bike back. Yes, although no one saw him or heard him.
Well, it is like after midnight, so everybody's asleep. So, Saber, what have we learned today? That the only good assassin is a dead assassin? I lay Saber down in the hallway. Saber was really light. She probably only weighs about 40 kilos, so it shouldn't have tired me out so much. Hold on, let me check. Hold on, gotta go check Saber's canonical weight. It's probably in the thing, but, you know, whatever. 42 kilos. Close. Or it wouldn't have if she'd been still. I had no idea that carrying a sleeping person, even a girl, could be so much work.
Can someone in chat translate metric to pounds for me?
What, 42 kilo?
Yeah. It's okay, chat will do it, don't worry. I know chat. Someone in chat will do it.
She's also like only 154 centimeters. So that's like 1.5 meters. Which is like...
92 pounds. Thank you.
Yeah, that. I would have been close. Yeah, I was gonna say about 90. So 154 centimeters, that's like... What? 4'7"?
Something like
It's
that.
not even 5 foot. My fatigue is more mental than physical. The feel of her soft skin when I picked her up, her quiet breathing on me, was also distracting. I'm trying to save you, damn it! Stop making me aroused! I look at Saber as she lies there, sleeping. 4'9", I was close for just, like, you know, spitballing it.
Oh, she's Spage's height. Got it. Okay, that's a good frame of reference.
She's probably not completely unconscious.
You still don't have consent.
Even if she looks like she's out cold, she might open her eyes the moment I call her name. Damn. There was so much I wanted to tell her when I left the house, and I can't say anything with her sleeping, looking like that.
兄さん目を覚ましたらとっちめてやるからなセイバ
Even now, I keep my voice to a whisper. The moment I reach out to pick her up again,
まあいいけど、シローがどんな趣味してて何をしてるかなんて私には関係ないから。
Marine, what the hell are you doing in the main house? And why are you fully dressed? Like, it's like 2 in the morning. Why aren't you at least wearing pajamas? Tosaka's in the hallway, watching, even though it's after 2 in the morning. Fully dressed.
Presumably because Archer told her some shit that those other 2 chuckle fucks were up to some sort of shit, and that she might have to go save their asses if she wanted to honor their treaty.
父さんが
何よ、お化けでも見たような顔しちゃって。別に文句はないから続けていいわよ。私は水飲みに起きただけだし。
I got up to get a glass of water, and so changed into my full-ass casual outfit to do so.
あいや違うこれは違うすごく違う
I'm sure she was probably ready to head out and retrieve the body after she noticed Shiro wasn't in the house.
俺の言ってること分かってくれるか
Also, if you're into unconscious chicks, you do you, but keep that shit private.
I feel like his response to that would be, "This is my house."
嘘つけ全然分かってない口ぶりだぞ今の
だから分かってるってば。セイバーが一人で戦いに行ってシローはそれを止めてきたんでしょ。で、何らかのトラブルがあってセイバーが気絶して戻ってきた。どう？これでいい？
うんすごい全問正解
わかるわよ。セイバーが単独で戦いを仕掛ける可能性は高かったし、サーバントが戦いを始めればマスターにだって伝わるわ。
I mean, it was super obvious she was gonna do that.
そうかそれはいいけど
So Tosaka knew Saber was gonna go off by herself.
Yep. Because she's a competent master.
で、どうするの？セイバーを部屋に連れて行くんじゃないの？ここに寝かしてたらいくらサーバントでも風邪ひくと思う
Pretty
けど。
sure that's not possible.
いやだから部屋に連れて行こうと思って今
I try to lift her up, but it's kind of awkward with Tosaka watching.
父さんか悪いけどセイバーを運んでくれないか
私が？もういいけど。じゃあお茶でも入れてくれる？少し二人の話に興味があるから。
Fine, I'll move your hot blonde European girlfriend who goes to another school in Canada, please believe you, but I demand tea as payment. Tosaka picks Saber up. Just casually, like one arm, just picks her up like, I got this. Her being so understanding has me a little worried, but since I asked her for a favor, I'd better go make some tea. So let me guess. Saber went off on her own and nearly got killed, right? Yeah, actually. How did you know that? Because for some reason, I only ever have a thing for idiots. Tosaka carries Saber off towards my room. Meanwhile, I work on preparing tea in the kitchen.
お茶って日本茶じゃないよな紅茶って言ってもティーバッグの紅茶しかないぞうち
Well, if I don't have it, I don't have it.
That's right. She's a tea snob like me.
I tell myself she can complain all she wants and start pouring the hot water over the bag.
シロ、ちょっといい？
Tosaka comes back.
なあ、ちょっと待ってくれ。すぐに行く。
Don't you dare scorch the tea leaves, you son of a bitch!
Making tea. It's just a tea bag. It'll be fine. I put 2 teacups on the tray and carry it out to the
and
living
tea
room.
bags can still scorch, Inu.
No, it's fine. You just leave it for like half an hour. It'll be fine.
Yuck, no. The only time it's okay to do that, the only time is if you're making iced tea. You do not leave tea bags in hot water that long.
Sure you do.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you do. You put it on, then you get distracted, and you don't get back to it for like half an hour. It's
No,
fine.
you end up with sludge. The second you pour water over tea leaves or a tea bag, you set a fucking timer.
How dare you imply that Shiro fucking Emiya would ever incorrectly prepare any form of food? Yeah, exactly. He has an entire spin-off anime that's just about him cooking dinner. I'm not kidding. This is a real thing.
What the fuck is this franchise?
Yeah, today's menu for the Emiya family exists.
I have no words. This is just dumb.
And there. And there!
I do love that all of chat's trying to convince me it's worth watching.
Sitting next to Tosaka is Saber in her normal clothes.
セイバー、どうして眠ってたんじゃなかったのか。
And by her normal clothes, technically he means Reen's
Reen's-
normal clothes
yeah.
that she gave to Saber.
Which are really like Akiha's normal clothes from the original Tsukihime, but color shifted to blue instead of red, but, you know.
眠ってたわよ。けど、そういつまでも続く眠りじゃないし、ついさっき目が覚めたの。どうも、一気に膨大な魔力を使おうとして、体の方から一方的に機能を停止させられたみたいね。ほら、電気のブレーカーと同じよ。その
Saber
ま
is
まじゃショート
quiet,
するから、
as
強
Tosaka
制的に電源を
explains.
切るってやつ。
お前。
Seeing her back to her usual self, all the frustrations I had earlier come rushing back.
セイバー、お前な、自分が何をしたのか分かってるのか。
Why only have same face syndrome when you can also have same clothes syndrome as well? Yeah, right?
わからないわけはないでしょう。私は竜道寺に赴き、アサシンのサーバントと戦いました。その折、私たちの戦いを監視していた第三のサーバントに気がつき、戦いを中断しましたが。
違う、そんなことを言ってるんじゃない。俺が言いたいのは、どうして戦ったのかってことだ。
またそれですか。サーバントが戦うのは当然のことです。白こそ
Look at Reen, she's just so done with his nonsense.
Reen's like, oh, we've been through this before. Shiro, where's my tea? I do understand there's no way around fighting since I've decided to participate in the Crowd War. And I know me telling Saber not to fight is me contradicting myself. But even so, I don't want to see something like that happen to her ever again.
私の方こそ聞きたい。白は戦いを嫌っているようですが、そんなことで聖杯戦争に生き残る気があるのかと。あなたの方針に従っていては、他のマスターに倒されるだけではないのですか。
Not like that. I'll fight off anything that might pose a risk to us. I certainly don't intend to just let myself be killed so easily. But aside from that, I just don't want Saber to fight.
違う。戦うのを嫌ってるんじゃない。俺は、
This is much simpler than that.
その女の子が傷つくのはダメだ。そんなの男として見過ごせない。だから、
We've
お前
been
に戦わせ
through
るくらいな
this.
ら俺が自分で戦う。
So I know, I'm prefacing this with I know you guys say he's not like this in every route.
It's just Artoria he's like this with.
But genuinely, if I were playing a game like this for myself, without having Inu here, without it being live streamed, I'd have rage quit because of the way Shiro treats women. And yes, I realize it's just Saber, but it infuriates me.
This is the only route where he's like this to Artoria as well. Route is just bad with Shiro.
And like I said, and that's why I prefaced what I said with what I said too, is I know you guys have been telling me every time I get mad at Shiro that he isn't like this in the other routes. It's just very frustrating.
私が女だから戦わせないだと。正気ですかあなたは。サーバントはマスターを守るものです。私たちが傷つくのは当然であり、私たちはそのために呼び出されたものに過ぎない。
Like, my worry about this being the way women get treated in video games is part of why I tend to primarily play video games where I'm allowed to play as a female protagonist. Because playing as a male protagonist then basically is telling women, stay out of the fighting and you don't get to have a say in how we do this. Which isn't exactly what he's saying, but feels like it.
I mean, the other thing is that
Stings.
Shiro is just like really bad at expressing what he's like. There's a genuine sentiment here of like
He doesn't want to see her get hurt.
that, but also he did tell her like, listen, it's not that we're not gonna fight; it's that we're gonna wait until
Till you're
we're at full
yes.
strength, and she's just not listening to that. So he's trying to come up with like literally anything to make her actually fucking listen to it. Like, there's multiple things that are going on here. Like, he's really bad at expressing what he's actually trying to say. Like, the actual thing that he's like defensive about is like too embarrassing for him to talk about, and so he just keeps covering it up with more lies. They just make him seem like a really terrible person. And also, like, he just doesn't understand what's going on. You get over to UBW and he's immediately instantly better with how he treats Artoria. It's just fucking weird how they decided this had to be your first view of Shiro as a character. Saber leans toward me, her eyes blazing with fury. But I won't let her change my mind. It's absurd for her to say she's a warrior before she's a woman. The author's self-given reason was he kept trying to convince himself Saber was a woman because he originally intended her to be regular Arthur.
instead you write an entire route where the main character is just constantly spouting off, I can't let you do that because you're a girl.
So the original dynamic was male Arthur, female Master. So it's probably that somehow that original sensibility got transplanted onto the new characters. It just doesn't make as much sense when the Master is the one saying, like, no, you will not fight this war, you're a woman. When the woman is the servant that's expressly supposed to be fighting the war.
What's funny is I actually wouldn't mind that being the mindset if that had been the circumstances under which it was presented. That I wouldn't actually have an issue with, because that would have been the Arthurian mindset. That would have been, you know, and in the context of the Grail War, where servants are far and away way more powerful than their masters, in most cases. I'm looking at you, Ilya, but but you know, in most cases, like a servant telling their master, like, hey, you need to let me handle this because you're just gonna get yourself killed, makes sense. But Shiro's ridiculous overprotectiveness makes zero sense in the context of the Grail War and the relationship between them.
Yeah, he doesn't wrap his head around that concept very well. Like, oh, how could someone so frail and light enough for me to pick up and carry around just go around and behave so recklessly? 'Cause she's a fucking walking artillery, Shiro. She's like the strongest thing you've ever encountered, not named Berserker.
誰が訂正なんてするか。そりゃセイバーは強いかもしれないけど、それでも女の子だろ。つまんないことにこだわるな、バカ。
つまらないこと
You
に
do
こだわっ
not
ている
need
のはあ
to
なたでは
throw
ない
the
ですか。
controller at things.
まさか
You're
女性に守
funny.
護されるのが嫌だとでも言うつもりですか。好みはすでに英霊、そのようなさまつごとなど忘れなさい。
さまつなもんか。もうとにかくセイバーが良くても俺は嫌だ。だいたい自分の代わりに戦ってもらうなんて間違いだったんだ。俺はそんな。
I can't allow someone to protect someone as helpless as me.
What?
So that's sort of, at the end of the day, it's sort of the crux of Shiro's like hesitation here, right? Is like he just doesn't feel like he's worth protecting. Like if he can't protect himself, it's not worth him being protected.
Well, I'm sorry, but the correct response there, if that's the mentality, would have been to drop out of the Grail War.
Yeah, but when he tried that, he died.
Stay at the fucking temple. Accept the protection. Like, if you're gonna be participating in this in the Grail War, you need to fucking accept what that means, and that means letting your servant fight.
I don't want someone to get hurt in my place. I'm the one who should be doing the saving. I've been working so hard to become the kind of person who can help people. Just like my old man.
くそ、いいな。とにかくセイバーは戦うな。戦いは俺がする。それなら文句はないだろう。セイバーの望み通り戦うって言ってるんだから。
無茶を言う人ですね、あなたは。人間がサーバントと戦えると思っているのですか？素人では戦いにすらならないと実
Yeah,
感してい
yeah.
るでしょう。
Remember the bit where Lancer killed you, and then Lancer almost killed you.
You know what, Artoria? Just take him into the dojo and back and beat him senseless with a shinai until he stops moving, and keep doing that until he decides that he literally can't fight you.
ランサーに襲われた時を思い出してください。あの時、私が現れなければ間違いなくシローは殺されていた。それはどのようなサーバントが相手でも同じです。
そんなのやってみなくちゃわからない。あの時は何の準備
She
もなか
can't,
っただけ
but
だ。
we can.
けど、今なら対
You
策なん
died
て
a
いくらでも
berserker.
立てられるんだから。
You die to
ようによっては
caster.
寝首を
You
か
die
く
to
ことができる。
caster.
少
Well,
子な
technically, he
シロ
doesn't
ーの盾で
actually
守
die
らな
to
きゃ神も同然
berserker.
です。
His body gets squished, his head gets pulled off, and Ilya keeps his head as a living trophy, but
Twice.
twice. But
今すごいこと言ったな、セイバー。
A human could never
Anata
defeat a
koso
servant.
servant to
Yeah, doubt.
人の身で英霊を打倒しようなどと何を思い上がっているのですか？
Iori might have something to say about that. Yeah, but listen, Artoria, what you have to understand is Iori existed, and Iori 1v1'd, like, so many servants as just a guy. Just a guy. Really good at swords. Learned the Tsubame Gaish off of Kojiro, and then just was soloing servants. I mean, he had a saber, but he actually fought with his saber. And was able to fight servants as a fucking person. Saber and I glare at each other. Our conversation is going nowhere, and there's no sign of reaching any kind of compromise. Rain, do something!
違うわセイバー。シローはサーバントを侮ってるわけじゃない。そのあたりを誤解しちゃうと話が進まないから口を挟ませてもらうけど。
Thanks, Reen.
リン、それはどういうことですか？
要するにね、そいつ純粋にあなたが傷を負うのを嫌がってるのよ。どうしてか知らないけど、シローは献身と善意の塊だものね。自分のことよりセイバーの方が大切なんでしょ、あんたは。
I really hate when it does that really temporary cutaway to the background image while I'm still trying to read, and then I panic and think I've done something wrong.
Yeah, it's not great.
そんなことないぞ。俺は別にセイバーが大切なんて言ってない。
He's trying to help you, you colossal fucking idiot!
嘘嘘。そうでもなければ自分で戦うなんて言えないわ。
Also, yes, Sparks Liner High, but we won't get to Sparks Liner High for like
だってあなた、
2
自分
routes.
じゃサーバントに勝てないって分かってるんでしょ。それでも戦うっていうのは自分よりセーバーのが大事ってことじゃない。
Sparks Liner High, by the way, just as a small preview, is one of the dead ends in Heaven's Feel, and is probably Shiro's crowning moment, even though he dies. I mean, if she puts it like that, maybe, but
だから無茶でも戦う。勝てないって分かっていながら勝とうとする。その結果が自分の死でも構わない。なぜならあんたの中ではどうしてか知らないけど自分より他人の方が大切だからよ。
well, I don't mean it to be like that.
そういうことよ。わかるでしょセイバー。あのバーサーカー相手にあなたをかばうようなバカなのよそいつ。 だから本気で
Yes,
自
he
分が
is.
戦うって言ってるの。
And frankly, trying to stop him is just a losing battle, so you might as well just work with him. I don't know how much of Tosaka's words actually make it through to Saber. But Saber takes a deep breath and turns toward me.
シロ、
なんだよセイバー。
あなたが戦うことは認めます。ですが、それならば私にも考えがある。
Training arc?
だから何さ。
剣の鍛錬です。シロの時間が許す限り、私はあなたに剣を教える。
Training arc.
それを認めるのなら、私もシロの意見を認めますが。
Also, thank you for just immediately cutting directly through all of Shiro's bullshit so that these two stubborn morons can just talk to each other. Yeah, it's super helpful that Reen is here to just fix things. Does that mean she's going to train me? Is this because she's acknowledged my will to fight?
待った。それは心の贅肉よ、セイバー。シローに剣を教える？やめてよ。そんな気休めでサーバントに太刀打ちできるわけないじゃない。
No, we don't need to teach Shiro how to fight. We need to teach Shiro how to not die.
それは当然です。ですが知らないよりはマシでしょう。少なくとも戦闘時の迷いは薄れます。あとはシロ本人の決意にかけるだけですが、実践とは得てしてそういうものではないですか。向かない者には何を教えても身につくことなどありません。
まあ言われてみればそっか。殴り合う覚悟ってのは一度殴り合ってみないと一生つかないものね。
And Reen would actually know all about that.
はい。ですから一度、いえ、一度と言わず時間の許す限り、シロには戦闘の結果としての死を体験させ、戦いに慣れてもらわなければ。
I want Shiro to know what it feels like to die. Translation, I'd really like to get out some of my pent-up anger and frustration out on him.
Yep. The two of them are talking pretty casually about some scary stuff.
ちょっと待て。俺はいいなんて一言も。
じゃあ私は魔術講座にしとく。セイバーが体を鍛えるんなら私は知識を育てるわね。まあ初めからそういう約束だったし、明日から
お願いします。リンがそうしてくれるなら、私も剣のみに集中できる。
Oh, look at this, Shiro. You're getting sword training from King Arthur, and you're actually finally getting proper teaching on how to be a mage. It only took 17 years.
いいって。じゃあ話も決まったことだし解散しましょう。明日はいろいろと忙しそうだから。
Also, it's still 2 in the morning. Tosaka waves goodbye and disappears into the outbuilding.
With her black tea, so she's really not getting any sleep tonight.
私も休みます。シロも休憩を取ってください。明日は道場で汗を流してもらいますから。
Oh, baby. She gives a short bow and goes back to her room. I'd like for sure to experience what death in a battle feels like. Hey, Artoria, remember that time you were in a battle alongside Shiro? You know, the one where he was literally cut in half. All that remains in the living room is 2 cups of untouched tea and 1 dumbfounded boy.
Ah, okay. Reen didn't drink her tea.
No, she made Shiro make tea and then never touched it.
一言もさ。
Too bad.
My words go unheard. Anyway, what was already a confusing situation has grown a hell of a lot more complicated. I can't even begin to imagine what will happen today.
ねえよ。とにかく体力だけは温存しなくちゃ。
Everything starts with the body. Well, yeah. The only thing I can do is cling on to my fragile hope that as long as my body's strong enough, I'll be able to endure whatever torture they might throw at me, or at least eloquently describe my death in gruesome detail.
Be super lucid while I die.
Yep. He's so much better at it than Shiki in Tsukihime. Shiki's just like, oh, I'm dead. Damn. No, don't save over save point or choice point. That's
But
bad.
we've done both choices from that choice
It
point.
doesn't matter. We might need it later. February 6th. Fate. 7 sword and magic 1.
できれば誰も悲しまない方がいい。自分程度の力添えで周りが幸せなら、それはこの上なく住みやすい世界だと思うんだ。
That was always Kiritsugu's favorite saying. The man who I saw as a champion of justice was saying he thought he was a failure, that he wasn't good enough. He didn't need to explain it to me. The worlds the young me and the grown-up Kiritsugu lived in were too different, and so the standards for being a hero of justice were different too. When I was young, this house was my entire world. As my head is cut off, I feel every individual atom in my now totally separated body writhe in incomprehensible pain. Shiro, probably.
I'll be back in just a minute. Gotta run to the restroom.
Also, yeah, somebody directly
Entertain chat.
quoting me here. I miss Shiro. Shiro told us how he died. Shiki doesn't tell us shit. It's true, though, is the thing. Like, Shiro was very eloquent in describing his death, and Shiki just doesn't tell us fuck all. It's really quite distressing. It's like, man, we know exactly how he died if this was Shiro. Bring back Shiro. I mean, Shiki's fine, but he's no Shiro. Maybe I'll feel different by the end of, like, Tsukihime. I don't know. I never got to, like, a point where I was, like, directly... Or I even was considering, like, Sojiro, like, stacking up against Shiro, so... How can we know what it feels like to get cut in half and have your head stuffed into a jar if the protagonist won't explain it all in meticulous detail for no actual reason? Exactly, right? Shiki does largely seem like a schizophrenic mess, yes. He's got some problems. And, like, small spoilers, the problems we know about only get worse in this week's session. Like, Jesus Christ. End of this week is fucking wild. And I've got a lot of suspicions about a lot of shit right now. But, you know. All in good time. I mean, pretty soon I would assume, because, like, we're at the end of, like, day 8 or day 9 now, and there's only, like, 12 days in Tsukihime, so, like, we're most of the way done.
Inu, brother dearest.
Yes.
Why do you have 4 different clashing colors of towel in your bathroom at once?
I don't know, because those are the towels that I have.
Yeah, but why are they all out and visible at once? It clashes.
Because I only have one place to store towels. To be fair, Shiro has a lot of endurance to physical pain due to his fucked up training sessions. Shiki is a very frail boy. True story. So my old man, Fujine, myself, and my favorite shed were the only things that needed protection.
You don't need to protect a shed. It's a shed.
But it's his favorite shed. At least give Shiki that he's generally better at talking with people who aren't named Akiha and occasionally Ark than Shiro is. True story, yeah. All I thought I had to protect was what I could see around me. But Kiritsugu wanted to do something for those he couldn't see or reach.
Oh no, you know what I just realized? Shiro is the shed equivalent of the cabbage merchant from Avatar. My shed!
若い頃は向こう水でね、世の非情を呪うことで自らを育んでいた。
It's his favorite shed, Willow, and also basically his bedroom, and also where he does his magecraft training that nearly kills him every day, and is also the only place he can be alone in his house.
世界が非情ならば、それ以上に非情になることを武器にして自分の理想を貫こうとしたんだよ。
There will always be those that can't be saved. You just can't save everything. If in the process of trying to save 1,000 you overlook 500, then I will abandon 100 to save 900. That is the most efficient way. That is the ideal, Kiritsugu once told me. If you can't save everything in front of you, then what kind of ally of justice are you? Exactly, right? Of course I got mad hearing that. It really ticked me off. Because I didn't have to be told that, since I knew that already. Because I knew firsthand that it was that very ideal that led to me being saved. I didn't need to be reminded about something so obvious. But I still believed that a hero of justice could save everyone, despite those limitations. Because that's what a hero of justice was. Someone who could still perform miracles, no matter how idealistic or unattainable they may be.
そうだね、シロ。
Who hurt you,
敵は一番
Kiritsugu?
大事だ。
Marbles.
けどそれとは別
Marbles
に
hurt me. And I
そうで
hurt
あろうとす
marbles.
る心が。
What did Kiritsugu say about heart again? I don't remember. Well, it's the last piece to summon Captain Planet, so there's that. And, fun story, I know I've mentioned this before, but in case anybody didn't know, the guy that played the heart guy in Captain Planet, that was Scott Menville, who would later go on to be Lloyd Irving in Symphonia 1.
That's just...
And also Robin in Teen Titans.
I can't, like, logistically I know that's actually factually correct, but my brain does not process that. My brain does not like that.
Well, would it help if I told you that the person that played Guy in Captain Planet would later go on to be Alice in Dawn of the New World? And also Lysithea?
It still does something to me that Alice and Lysithea are the same voice actress.
Or that Kwame is voiced by LeVar Burton?
And see, that I knew. That one doesn't surprise me.
Look, son, sometimes people just stop. And when they stop, there isn't anything you can do to save them. I hear you, I understand you, and I agree with you. But fuck that, I'ma be Superman! It's not often I reminisce about something from so long ago. I must be in a deep sleep. Otherwise, I wouldn't be dreaming in the first place.
シロ、起きてください。そろそろ朝食ではないですか?
Well, let Sakura make breakfast today. See? Saber's waking me up. It's pathetic.
何?
I bolt upright and out of my futon. It's 6:30 in the morning. Fresh sunlight pours in from outside.
シロ、朝です。朝食の支度はいいのですか?
ねえ、過ごした。すぐに起きる。
私に謝る必要はないと思いますが、ゆっくりしている余裕がないのは事実です。先ほど、さくらと凛が揉めていたようですから。
さくらと遠坂が揉めていた？
Sakura and Tosaka are arguing. Why would they be doing that? What's going on? Hold on. Don't throw me into a situation I don't understand just as I'm waking up.
それって遠坂の部屋でか？
いえ、今です。私も通りかかっただけですから、詳しくは知りませんが。
わかった。とにかく急ぐ。
Oh, but... there's something I forgot to do.
何でしょうか、シロ。
I haven't put pants on yet.
起こしてくれて助かった。
I greet her, and then I head out to the hallway. But seriously, what the hell did Tosaka do to start an argument with Sakura?
遠坂！
In the living room, there's no sign of Sakura. Tosaka is alone, casually watching the weather forecast on TV.
おはよう。朝っぱらから人の名前を叫ぶなんて穏やかじゃないわね。
Huh? That's weird. Doesn't look like she was fighting with Sakura at all.
ああ、おはよう。って遠坂、なんでもさくらと揉めたって聞いたんだが、本当か？
え？あ、そっか。セイバーから聞いたのか。ええ、客観的に見ればそういうことになるけど、別に大したことじゃないわよ。単にしばらくここには来るなって言いつけただけだから。
He's so casual about basically banning Sakura from my house.
バカな。その話、さくらは前にも断ってるじゃないか。それを繰り返したところで、さくらが承諾するはずが。
ないけど、交換条件を出したら帰ってくれたわよ。さくらが1週間ここに来なければ、私はおとなしく家に戻るって言ったの。それで交渉成立。しぶしぶだけど帰っていったわ。あ、そうそう。シローによろしくだって。
よろしくってお前。
And then Sakura became a non-entity. Yeah, Sakura's gone. We don't see her anymore this route. She's gone now. Actually, I shouldn't yell at her for it. Tosaka's just done something I should have done.
そうだった。悪い。朝から面倒を押し付けちまった。気分悪くしただろう、遠坂。
Not particularly.
いや、別に面倒でも嫌でもなかったけど、なんだってそんなこと言うわけ、シロ？
いや、遠坂、さくらと仲が良かっただろ。なのに、面と向かって出ていけなんて2回も言うのは嫌だったはず
I'm
だ。
trying to save her life. If she just lets herself in with her key while we're practicing magic, we have to kill her.
But she's from a mage family.
But doesn't know magic exists. That information's been kept from her, so she's basically a normal.
Yeah, that's fair.
いいけどそんなの。私だって自分の安全第一でさくらを追い出したんだし、シローにそう謝られる筋合いなんてないわ。
自分の安全第一ってなんでさ。
だってシンジがマスターだったんでしょ。あいつのことだから、シロんとこにさくらがいるって分かったら目の敵にするに決まってるもの。だからシンジとの決着がつくまではさくらはここにいさせない方がいいのよ。
I get it. She makes a good point.
Also, technically, given the way the Growl War works, there's a non-zero chance we have to kill her brother. And better she not be here when we do that.
That's fair. Shinji is kind of a dickbag, though, so he deserves it. Shinji said he doesn't tell Sakura anything. I don't think he was lying. But if he finds out his little sister comes here so often, he might get the wrong idea.
だよな。シンジから見れば、さくらを人質に取ったように見えるもんな。
そういうこと。もっともそんなことは別にして、ここが危険なことに変わりはないでしょ。 あんまり頻繁に夜出歩かせるのもなんだし、しばらくは遠慮してもらった方がいいのよ。それがさくらのためだし、私たちのためでもある。
まあそうだな。さくらには悪いけど後で謝って許してもらおう。
Just have to apologize and tell her something.
Though I won't be able to explain myself even when the time comes. This is really getting to me. I feel really bad about turning Sakura away like this, even if it's temporary. She's been so unselfish about helping me for all this time.
あら、随分と元気がないこと。さっき人を怒鳴りつけてくれた異性はどこに行ったのかしらね。エミヤくんはそんなにさくらがいないと寂しいのかな？
Tosaka grins maliciously. Ah, crap. I've known she'd tease me whenever I show vulnerability, but I went and did it again.
ほっといてくれ。さくらはうちの平和のシンボルだったんだよ。藤姉と俺だけじゃ足りないところを補ってくれてたんだ。それをこっちの都合で追い返したんだから気だって沈む。
なんだ、よくわかってるじゃない。それだけ言えれば合格よ。少しは勝ち切ってのが出てきたみたいね。
何が言いたいんだよ、遠坂は。
わからない？つまりね、戦いが終わればさくらは戻ってくるでしょ。シロは聖杯なんていらないって言うけど、それなら今まで会ってくれた平穏のために戦えばいい。ほら、目的がはっきりしていいじゃない？
You might not want the grail, but you do want your normal life back, so get to fighting, Scrublord! Tosaka smiles her very biggest smile. When she puts it like that, I really have no choice but to agree. Damn, I don't know what to say. What she said there confirms that she's both mean-spirited and ridiculously awesome at the same time. Yeah, that's Tosaka in a nutshell.
じゃあしばらくさくらちゃんは来ないの？
Yeah, neither should you for that matter.
まあそういうことだから藤姉もたまには家で親孝行したらどうだ。じいさん、娘に構ってもらえないって嘆いてたぞ。
お父さんなんかほっといてもいいの。私がいなくたって死にゃしないんだから。
He's not immortal.
それにね、さくらちゃんがいないんなら余計私がしっかりしなくちゃダメじゃない。シロだって男の子だもん。万が一があったら懲戒免職よ。そうなったら責任取ってくれる？シロ？
んなことな。
Sadly, since I'm a man, I can't really confidently deny that.
エミヤくん、何かしらね、今の止めは。
She glares. Tosaka's eyes bore into me from one side.
ないと思う。これはただの下宿じゃないんだ。俺だって分かってる。
そう。よかった。やっぱりエミヤくんは信用できますね、先生。当然です。シローは私でもちょっと趣味に走りすぎたかっていうぐらい落ち着いてるんだから。
Saber continues to eat in silence as she observes the two interacting. It's been 2 days, but I don't think I'll ever get used to this.
あ、そうそうシロー。弓道部のことなんだけどね。三辻さんが怪我したっていう話知ってる？
So, it's never really occurred to me until just now, but what's your feeling on this, like, wearing a fucking full-length dress over a long-sleeve shirt situation that Taika's got going on?
It's actually not a super uncommon look. I've done something similar a time or two for work. So a lot of dresses, if you have a dress you really, really, that you really, really like, but it's not appropriate for certain circumstances, whether that's, you know, baddie straps at work or just that, like, it's a super thin material and it's winter. It's not actually that uncommon to layer a dress over a blouse or a top or something along those lines.
I mean,
that doesn't really bother me.
I've never minded on the character design. I just wasn't sure like how practical it was.
No, it's a thing. I've done it a time or two for work. Usually because I didn't feel like doing my laundry and I only have a select handful of things left and I've got to make an outfit work with what's still in my closet, but it's a thing.
Mitsuzuri got hurt.
三つ釣りがなんだまた他の部のやつと喧嘩でもしたのかあいつ
Oh, wait, I remember that. We're not actually going to find out what happened to this for a while, but I do remember this plot point now, yeah.
で怪我の方はどうなんだよ割と深いのか
それは大丈夫。軽い捻挫だって。学校の帰り道に怪しい奴に襲われたそうよ。あの子って俊足でしょ。スパーッと勢いよく逃げたんだけど最後に転んで怪我したみたい。
そうか大事がなくてよかったけどよりによってあいつにね命知らずというかなんというかどちらにせよ間抜けな犯人だったな俺はてっきり
てっきり逃げたんじゃなくてノックアウトしたって思ったんでしょう。
Fujine grins. Yep, she knows Ayako Mitsuzuri well.
あいつが逃げるなんてめったにないからしかしそうか三つ釣りのやつも俗には弱かったのかまいいんじゃないかそれぐらいのイベントが起きないとあいつに女らしさを教えるのは不可能だ
I munch on my rice, nodding approvingly.
ねえねえエミヤくん
Suddenly, Rin Tosaka slaps my shoulder, smiling at me.
私からもちょっと耳寄りな話してあげよっ
なんだよ今の話以上に耳寄りな話は難しいぞ本気で
か。うん今まで黙ってたけどね私と綾子って仲良しなの休みの日は2人で遊びに行くぐらいの仲って知ってた？
Wait. Why are she and Mitsuzuri friends?
はい
今の話一言一句間違えずに伝えてあげるから安心してエミヤくんも喜んでたって言ったら綾子ったらそりゃあもう瓦10枚はぶち抜くぐらいに喜ぶんじゃないかな
Yeah, that music cut was great.
訂正したい今のは言葉のあやだあまり人様に話すような発言じゃないんで黙っていてくれるととても助か
Not
る
how this works.
そうなの？なら黙っていてもいいけどそれなりの条件がないときついかなほらついポロッと口に出ることってあるじゃない？
お前な謙虚なセリフを言ってんのににんまり笑ってるってのは良くないぞ
あらごめんなさい別に楽しいわけじゃないから誤解しないでね
Yeah, there's no misunderstanding here. She's enjoying this.
わかった。これから朝食は洋風にする。さっきお前が言ってた朝飯作るならパンにしろという提案も受け入れていい気になったり。
上出来ね。マーマレードだけじゃなくていちごのジャムも忘れないでくれると嬉しいわ。
ったく、日本の朝を何だと思ってやがる。この外国かぶれ。お前一人の趣味で朝飯を買いやがって。こぼうくん。
いいえ、それは違います。朝食がパンになるのは私も嬉しい。加えて半熟の卵を用意していただければ文句はないのですが。
Ooh, soft boiled eggs are good.
Saber jumps right into the discussion.
Pain to peel though, soft boiled eggs.
ああ、そうですか。わかったよ。
What if you just
洋
peel
食
them
にすれば
before
いい
you
んだ
put
ろ
them in?
くそ。
Then you get a
さくら
poached
が
egg.
洋食にしたからって。
But
常
if
識
you
つきやがって。
only poach it so far, it's still basically soft-boiled, right?
They don't form quite the same way. Also, personally, I wouldn't put a poached egg in ramen. I would put a soft boiled egg in ramen.
I mean, soft-boiled eggs was you're supposed to put in ramen. Or just put a raw egg in there. It'll cook in the ramen.
Yes, it will. I wouldn't. Just because you then have some various cooking needs to complicate your soup more, but
お望み通り、明日から朝はパンにするから、それで文句はないな。なら、さっきの話は他言無用。絶対に三つ釣りにはバラすなよ。
Right, you said earlier that breakfast should have bread, Tosaka. But only bread that's all cut to the same millimeter of thickness, Shiro! Why are you so worried about bread, Saber? Yeah, Sakura's piece was a millimeter thicker than hers. She was very upset. I huff and shove rice into my mouth without looking at either of them. And then...
なんでそんな無駄なことするのかな。
Fujine, who'd been watching our conversation with a look of wonderment, finally speaks up.
なんだよ。無駄ってなんだよ、藤根。
だって遠坂さんが話さなくても私が三辻さんに話しちゃうじゃん。こんな面白い話黙ってられないよ私。
Fujine shakes her head disapprovingly as she eats.
I love her. She's like, well, I respect and honor your deal with these ladies, but I'ma tell her anyway. Because your deal wasn't with me.
Actually, I need to think of a way to deal with her, or I'm really in trouble. Breakfast ends, and it's 7:30. Fujine surprisingly stays back and suggests that the three of us walk to school. But we can't do that. I made a decision last night. Now that I've said I won't rely on Saber, I can't afford to take it easy anymore. Sorry, Fujimura, I'm withdrawing from school.
戸締まりはいいシロ。
いや、戸締まりはいいよ。俺、今日学校休むから。
Why would you do what Tosaka asks you to, Shiro? It's just pointless. Why? Because unlike the children I look after, I'm not responsible, and he'll just tell her anyway. I wave Fujine and Tosaka off. Fujine freezes, stupefied for just a few seconds.
ちょっと学校を休むってどういうことよ。
Tosaka beat Fujine to the chase.
そうよシロ。学校休むって。
いや、傷が痛んでるんだ。気温が下がると古傷って痛むだろ。そんな感じ。
それ嘘でしょシロ。
嘘だけど、それで勘弁してくれ、藤根。 何も学校が嫌ってわけじゃないんだ。やることがあって、そっちのが今は重要なだけなんだ。だからさ。
も
I have a date with my hot
う
blonde
そんな言い
European
方され
girlfriend.
たら
Please
私
believe
の負
me.
けじゃない。シローが事情を話さない時っていつもそうなんだもん。昔っからそうだよね。
そういうわけだ。学校の方は父
He's
さんに
complaining,
任せ
but
る。
at least she understands.
そうまあエミヤくんがいようがいなかろうがこっちには支障はないし確かに悪くない選択よそれ
Shiro could never tell Taiga that he's skipping school to have someone that
留守は
isn't her
任せて
teach
くれ。
him how to use a sword.
しばらくはバイトも休むから、家はそう開けないよ。
She ran away from you.
No, I knew she was going to. I was just getting her out of the way.
わかった。それじゃあ行ってくるね、シロ。怪我で学校を休むんだからあんまり外に出ちゃダメよ。
それじゃあね今回はいいけど次からは事前に相談してよねこういうことは
さて、雑巾がけぐらいしとかないとな。
I told Saber to meet me here a little later. I always just do the bare minimum of cleaning in here. It's been years since I sparred with anyone in this place. It'd probably be rude to both the dojo and Saber if I don't clean up a little.
しかしあれだな。剣の修行って言っても何をやらされるのやら。
Swing a sword at you. Later.
I've sparred using a shinai with Kiritsugu many times, but Kiritsugu and I never really cared about proper form. It was more like a couple of amateurs beating each other up.
I know what that looks like. The kids in my after-school program do it all the time. You give them sticks, they beat each other up with them. Then I have to explain to their parents why they're bruised.
I never really had any plans to practice kendo seriously, and I was really only taught how to fight opponents wielding a sword.
そもそも道具を使って喧嘩するのは苦手だったな。作ったり直したりする方にしか関心がないんだから。
In that sense, this might be the first time for me to learn proper swordsmanship in any serious sense. Saber's swordsmanship is different than kendo, but I'm sure there are some things in common, and I don't think they're so different that I won't be able to keep up. I hear the door open. Saber arrives, precisely on time. Fujine, are you just gonna have some of your dad's business partners shit in the bushes outside to make sure I'm not leaving the house? No. Slowly closes phone behind her back. Works out well since I've just finished cleaning.
待たせたな。今日からここで手ほどきをしてもらうわけだけど。
どうかしましたかシロ。何か意外なものを見るような顔をしていますが。
いや、セイバーの服がそのままだったから驚いた。てっきりあっちの格好で来るのかと思ってたから。
We're training with swords, so I immediately thought of Saber in her armor, since that's what she always wears when she's fighting.
はあ、武装している方がいいというのでしたら着替えますが。そう、たとえ試合とはいえ、鎧をまとわないのはシロに失礼です。申し訳ありません。すぐに着替えてきます。
いや、別にそういうわけじゃない。ただの思い違いだからいいんだ。俺もどっちかっていうと、鎧姿より今の方がいい。
You look more like Green this way.
は、ですが、この服装ではシロの気が済まないのではないのですか？
気が済まないって、確かに今から試合するぞって感じじゃないけど、セイバーが動きやすいって言うんなら問題ないだろう。昼間から夜。
それはそうですが、この服装で剣を振るうのはおかしくはないでしょうか。
なんでさ、似合ってるんだからおかしくなんかないぞ。俺、セイバーは鎧姿より今の方がいいと思う。
うん。 理解しかねます。この服装は確かに気軽なのですが、戦闘には耐えられないでしょう。セーバーとしては不向きな姿だと思うのですが。
Personally, I think I've looked more like plain Jane from down the street than a weapon of mass destruction this way.
Artoria, for the 10 billionth time, he doesn't think you're a servant. Like, cognitively, he knows that. Sometimes. Maybe.
Yeah, but
But-
realistically, you're a cute girl.
その格好で戦うなバカ。セイバーは女の子だろ。女の子にはそういう服のが似合うんだから、それでいいんだ。
At least he's telling her not to wear it in a fight. Like, don't be dumb. Wear your armor when we're actually fighting. But, like, you know, it's fine to dress like a girl. Artoria, I've seen enough sabers in my time to have to disagree with you not looking like a saber just because of your clothes. Please see MHX wearing a fucking jacket, bloomers, and a fucking t-shirt.
Yeah, it's a gym uniform and a jacket.
Yeah, and a baseball cap and like Converse with really long socks. And then
Bio does counter that MHX isn't a saber, to be fair.
don't tell her that; she'll be mad. I return the rag I'd been cleaning with to the bucket, and I bring back 2 Shinai that had been leaning against a wall.
さて、それでどういった鍛錬をするんだ、セイバー。方針は全部セイバーに任せるから、無茶でも何でも言ってくれ。
Did we miss a but then?
It was actually and then,
Ah.
and I did the thing for it.
Because it was put in chat as in all capital letters. But then.
Yeah, the line this time was actually, and then! I toss her the bamboo sword. The bamboo blade, if you will. Why is she blushing? Saber seems distracted as she catches the Shinai and stares at me quietly.
なんだよ。しないじゃダメか。まさか僕と。いや、真剣を使えってんじゃないだろうな。
She's really a tough instructor. This is beyond anything I imagined.
あ、いえ、そのようなことはありません。せっかく優れた試合用の模造刀があるのですから、こちらを使うことにしましょ
Personally, I
う。
think you should be using Boken instead of Shinai, but that's just me. Saber draws in a deep breath and goes right back to being the normal Saber as I know her.
よかった。さすがに僕とで試合をするのは。
You're the only people here. Who are you going to bother?
で、本当に何をやればいいんだ。まず素振り500回とか走り込みとか、そういう体力作りからか。
So what are you planning for today's lesson, Saber? Well, you see that 6-foot deep hole outside near the shed, Shiro? Yes? I'm gonna put you in that.
シロの
Wait,
運動能
what?
力
Training
は
begins
進化
now!
しています。これ以上肉体面を鍛えるのであれば、それは1日や2日でできることではありません。シロは魔術師としては未熟ですが、戦士としては悲観したものではないと思います。幼い頃からよほど懸命に鍛えてきたのですね。
You might be a shit mage, but you would have made an acceptable knight.
ま
What?
あ
Nothing. Don't
そ
worry
れぐ
about
らい
it.
しか取り柄がなかったからな。体を鍛えるのだけは魔術の才能がなくてもできたことだし。
それが幸いしたのでしょ
Or
う。
cat does more cat things.
ランサーに襲われて死に至らなか
My
ったの
cat
は
thinks she's a dog.
シロのそういう努力の賜物ですから。ですが、それは武器になるほどのものではありません。人間には限界がある。シロの体はその限界の域には程遠いし、突破することも難しいでしょう。ですから私が教えることはただ戦うことだけです。
戦うことだけってどういうことだ。今の口ぶりからして戦う方法を教えてくれるってわけじゃなさそうだけど。
当然です。 一朝一夕で戦闘技術など身につくはずがないでしょう。私にできることはマスターに一回でも多く戦いを味わってもらうことだ。そもそも人に物を教えることは苦手なのですから、私に指示されても困ります。
もしもし
Her sound so proud about that makes it a bit awkward for me as her student.
つまり、要するに、ただ試合をするだけってことかな、セイバー。
ええ。ただそれだけです、マスター。寸止めはなし。お互い相手を殺すつもりで打ち合いましょう。そうですね。1時間もすればどういうことなのか理解してもらえると思います。
Shiro is actually fairly ripped for his age. Not quite as ripped as, say, somebody who grew up fighting bears in the mountains with only their fists, but the guy's still built. Yeah. Saber readies herself, gently gripping her shinai. Huh? I tilt my head, wondering what she means, but I also grip my shinai as Saber does. In that instant. But then! My vision goes black.
I black out.
Saber is teaching me one very simple lesson. Dodge!
No matter what I do.
No matter what strategy I come up with, none of it will change the outcome of a fight against someone I just don't have a chance of beating. I'll walk it off. You got better from being cut in half overnight. You'll be fine.
重度の打ち身ですが、今のシローならじきに回復するでしょう。
She talks to him the way I talk to the kids in after school. It's not broken, so I don't need to amputate it. You're fine, just walk it off.
Are you broken, bleeding, or on fire?
Yep, that's so because of the type of program that I run, Inu was literally quoting how I do my health check with the kids when they come into program. Basically, I have to look at every single student that comes into after school and basically sign off that they were physically well when they came to me. So I will literally look at a student and I'll go, okay, are you bleeding, broken, or on fire? No? Okay, you're fine.
Well, even if they are, it's okay if they do sports.
Not for the particular type of after-school program I run now. Summer camp, yes. If they're bleeding, broken, or on fire and they do sports, their parents are allowed to not be concerned about it. I have some real horror stories. Shit I do for work. Alright, we should probably actually save. It's about that time.
Yeah, I mean, we do have a choice point coming up pretty soon, but I don't know exactly when.
The day 7's just the new day, not a choice point, right?
Yes, yeah, that's just the start of the new day. Yeah, there's a choice point off of this scene, but I don't know where exactly. And it doesn't lead to a death anyway. Like, we don't have another death until day 9.
Yikes.
We're currently at the very beginning of day 8. So, you know, it's gonna be a bit. But yeah, no, good progress. We met Assassin. Assassin outed himself for being who he is.
Oh, we never actually looked at his... We can fix that.
We did not. To the compendium.
Okay. What does it say? Lancer, Archer, Rider. Oh, actually, there's probably new information on Saber.
It's probably going to be in the Noble Phantasm section. Barrier of the Wind King.
So does stuff.
Yeah, it added on the... I think it added on the bit at the end about, like, being able to release a compressed wind and shoot it as a single-use projectile weapon.
Okay.
Assassin is second from the bottom.
Assassin.
Just above Berserker. True name, Sasaki Kodro. Master unknown. Gender male. Height 176. 63 kilograms. Neutral evil alignment. Strength C. Constitution E. Agility A+. Magic E. Luck A.
Noble Phantasm. non-existent.
Noble Phantasm. Heroic info.
Oh, that's just stuff.
Yeah. Presence concealment rank D. Swallow. Yeah. Subamigaish. Mind's Eye False rank A. Vitrify rank B+. Knowledge of the Stoa rank B.
Noble Phantasm.
He doesn't have
exist.
one. He does not have one. His weapon might be under weapon as well.
I thought I'd go back just long enough to look at Zerker, just because I couldn't remember what alignment he was.
Chaotic Madness.
And the reason I couldn't remember his alignment is it's not a thing in D&D and Pathfinder. You cannot be chaotic mad in those.
His alignment is chaotic mild.
his alignment, chaotic and insane.
Chaotic crazy. Yeah. Let's check weapons and see if it's like his. No. There's a weapon section under servant. It's in the other menu. Okay, so we already had the. The laundry drying pole?
Yep, laundry drying pole.
Huh.
Used by assassin.
Yeah. The laundry dry. They didn't. You know. They gave it like a proper Japanese name when he was being introduced, but here they transliterated it for some reason. What the fuck is that? Wish I knew what CM and KG were by heart instead of having to convert it using Google. I can do kind of rough conversions in my head. Like, so here's the thing. Centimeters is really easy if you turn it into meters, because like a meter is roughly 3 feet.
It's a little over 3 feet, but
It's close enough for rough measurements. So like 175 centimeters is 1.7 meters, which is like 5'7", 5'8" around there. Little bit more, maybe 5'9", but like it's in that general ballpark, right? Whereas like 145, which is what Saber is, like we said earlier, that's about like 4'9" ish.
meanwhile, kg to pounds, according to what chat told me earlier today, is somewhere between 2 and 2.5 times.
Yeah,
amount.
it's like 2.25 ish times. So again, it's not exact, but it gets you kind of close, right? So like 40 kilograms is like 90-ish pounds.
92, I think was what they said.
Yeah.
Chat.
Well, no, she's 42 kilograms, which was about 90-ish pounds. So, you know, kind of that general 90, 95. I think 95 was the correct one. I was guessing around 90. So, you know, like you can get rough ballpark on those sorts of things if you just like have some basic conversions in your head. Like for Celsius to Fahrenheit, like technically it's times 1.8 plus 32, but if you just double it and add 30, you're pretty close, like most of the time for just doing quick math, right? Or take away 30 and have it for going the other direction.
Because I will forget I've done this. But since this is the jacket I use in the winter, I'm putting my random bullshit headphones
I won't
in my
remember.
jacket pocket.
Bio.
Yes, but I'm telling it to chat while the mic is still live, so that other people know.
Bio.
The teeny tiny pocket in my jacket has headphones in it.
Bio, remember where Willow put her headphones so she doesn't forget next week. Thanks. Till then, everyone.
Catch you next week.